All right. Good morning, everybody. It is finally here. It's fight day. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. And if you're like me and many other diehard boxing fans, the morning of a big fight like this, not just a big fight, this is a big heavyweight fight that I think is a historic fight, could break all records in the UK. Already broke the attendance record uh, for a live event, and it could very well break the pay-per-view record over there in the UK. But with that being said, outside of people like ourselves, and I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you're a diehard boxing fan. So outside of people like ourselves, the question needs to be asked, who else really cares about this fight? And who else cares enough about this fight where they're going to spend their hard earned dollars on this fight and buy the pay per view? Now, this pay per view starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be shown by ESPN pay per view, and you can buy it on the ESPN Plus app, or you can buy it on your regular cable box, right, with your cable provider, right? So, like I said, the question remains, are people going to buy this pay per view? And is it going to be somewhat successful? I know some people have predicted numbers varying from 85,000 all the way up to 250,000. We just saw Errol Spence versus Jordanis Ugas that was shown in prime, well, not really prime time, but it was shown at the normal time that we are used to seeing pay per views here in the United States. That only did 240,000 pay per view buys, right? You can argue that Errol Spence is probably just as known as Tyson Fury, if not more known than Tyson Fury here in the United States. Tyson Fury has made some strides in getting known and getting that exposure with those 3 Deontay Wilder fights, which I think the second 2 did pretty good pay-per-view numbers. A lot of people were interested in those fights. Tyson Fury's been on WWE, and Tyson Fury's been making some waves here in the United States. He's made some strides, right? There are some celebrities like The Rock and some NBA players who have given him shout outs. Drake, I believe, gave him a shout out at one point. So he is gaining some strides here in becoming known. But in terms of people buying this fight and having a successful pay-per-view event here in the United States, right? Because Bob Arum had predicted that it could do 500,000 pay-per-view buys here in the United States. I think he's being overly optimistic. They've dropped the price here. I think it's going to be $70 instead of the usual $80. So it's a $10 discount in the price. But even people who are boxing fans are telling me that they're not going to buy this. They're telling me that they're going to watch this other ways, and we all know what those other ways are. So did Top Rank drop the ball here? Did Queensberry drop the ball here? Frank Warren dropped the ball here, and did ESPN even drop the ball here? Because when you look on ESPN today, they're doing like a from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. They're doing a Whyte Fury preview show, right? And after that, they're going to be showing college football from 2 in the afternoon to 5 in the afternoon. And after that, they have some soccer on. So should this fight have just been put on? Like, should they have just shown the main event? Because with all due respect, the undercard's not the greatest, and not many people are going to be concerned with the undercard. And not many people, I believe, are really going to watch the undercard here in America, even if they are watching the fight by other means, or if they're even buying the pay-per-view, right? I may even run a few errands during the undercard or get a workout in or whatever, with all due respect. All I care about really is the main event here. That's why I paid the price that I paid for this pay-per-view, because I bought it. Guilty. Beeb always buys them, right? I bought it just for the pay-per-view. And I'm recording it too. That's what I love about buying it on your cable box using your cable provider because you can record it. When you buy it on ESPN Plus, you can't record it, and that's really aggravating to me. That's why, at least with the Zone, they'll save it. But if you buy a pay-per-view on ESPN via the app, you can't record it, right? So it's always good because this fight to me is a historic fight. So it's really good for me, and I'm very happy to say that I'll be recording it, and I'll be owning a piece of history. So that makes me feel pretty good about my purchase because I think this is going to be a brilliant fight, right? I think this is going to be a brilliant fight. Major Key, you can pull up, man. You can pull up without question, man. You can pull up. You can watch. You can watch the fight with me if you want. If you're in the Boston area, right? I got no problem with that. But like I said, it would have been great to put just showing the main event, go live at about 5:30, 5:30ish, 6 o'clock, right? That's when the college football is going to be over. A lot of people in America will be watching the college football. Then they can just transition right into the fight. And in my opinion, you would have maximized the amount of people watching the fight. So would it have made sense for ESPN to pay the rights fees and just purchase the fight and give them a 5:30 time slot, 5:30, 6 o'clock time slot, and just show the main event, right? So let's look at some other fights that were some big fights with Fury involved and Joshua involved, where it wasn't on pay-per-view. And let's look at some of the numbers here. So when Showtime showed Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua, when Anthony Joshua had that deal with Showtime, right? I want to say he had like a couple. I wasn't sure. I can't remember if it was a 6-fight deal, whatever, where they would broadcast his fights, or if it was a 3-fight deal. Forgive me. If anyone knows the amount of fights, please correct me in the chat. But when Klitschko and Showtime, when Klitschko and Joshua fought on Showtime, it was broadcast live in the United States. It drew an average of 659,000 viewers, and it peaked at 687, right? So that was a really, really good fight. And it says this was Joshua. Oh, so I guess it was a 6-fight deal because it says this is Joshua's 4th fight on Showtime as part of his exclusive US rights deal with the subscription network, and none of his previous 3 bouts averaged higher than 390,000 viewers. And mind you, these aren't in prime time. So 659,000 viewers is great numbers for not being in prime time, and even 390,000 on Showtime, which with all due respect doesn't have the subscribers that HBO has and doesn't have the exposure that a network like Fox or ESPN would have, right? So even that with a subscription network, still not putting it on pay-per-view. And I think they were giving people deals on the weekends of those fights, so you got free Showtime for the weekend if you purchased it during those fights, right? So those are pretty decent numbers for fights that are, for a fighter that's not American, right? And for a fighter that is not really known in the United States, right? So that's great. Those are pretty great numbers in my opinion, right? So let's look at Klitschko's 2 fights on and we're gonna pull Tyson Fury into this as well. So don't think we're just making bad comparisons here. So HBO bigger than Showtime, and I think Showtime has caught up to HBO, closed the gap a little bit now, but they're still smaller than HBO in terms of subscribers. So when Klitschko fought on HBO, when he had that deal with HBO where they were showing his fights, right? He averaged 1.6 million viewers on HBO in his win over Brian Jennings, and that was in Madison Square Garden, and that was during prime time, right? But also when Klitschko fought Tyson Fury, which wasn't in prime time, right? They did on HBO 1,038,000 viewers. So Tyson Fury and Klitschko have done good numbers on HBO. Once again, HBO is a subscription network, but in the United States, you can get it for like $15 a month. And a lot of people do have HBO here in the United States. It's not basic cable, but it's still not pay-per-view. So if you're paying $15 a month, you could have seen the fight for significantly less than the standard $80 pay-per-view price here in the United States. So it just goes to show you that, you know, these foreign fighters who aren't mainstream guys over here in the United States can still do decent numbers, very respectable numbers. And if 1.6 million people are watching Klitschko fight Bryant Jennings, which was in prime time, right, on a Saturday, and then when you go to Klitschko's fight with Tyson Fury, which I think I was watching that fight at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, to have 1 million people watching a fight there, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I think those are pretty respectable numbers, right? So, in terms of exposure, right, and in terms of viewership and putting ads, if you're ESPN, if you're putting ads in that time slot, I think it would have been a better move to just purchase the fight itself and put it right after the college football, and those college football viewers would have transitioned right into the fight. And I think if you put this fight on ESPN, in my opinion, I think maybe 2 million people, at least 2 million people would be watching it at 6 o'clock in the afternoon here in the United States. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm just looking at how these other fights did, right? I'm just looking how these other fights did. And I think this fight is just as big as those fights, if not bigger, in my opinion. So if they can pull, almost 700,000 on Showtime, right? Which is not nearly as big as ESPN, right? If they could do 1 million, right, in a non-time prime slot, right, on HBO, then on ESPN, in my opinion, at the very least, they could do 2 million, maybe even more. If Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko was being watched on ESPN by, I think it was 3.5 million viewers, right? I think this fight could easily do 2 million, possibly 3 million in terms of viewership. And it would have been worth ESPN's while to pay the rights fee for the fight and get those advertisement spots in that time slot, which I believe would have been respectable, pretty good. Conservatively, I think, like I said, 2 million people would have watched the fight on ESPN. And like I said, I think you would have had that. It would have been great shoulder programming for that college football. So in my opinion, I think that ESPN should have just put the main event on, sort of like what they did with Joshua and Klitschko, right? What Showtime did with Joshua and what HBO did with Klitschko. And I think they would have had a pretty good viewership, and they would have been able to sell some decent advertisement spots during that time period for the fight, right? But pay-per-view wise, it's definitely a risk, in my opinion. I'm hoping for the best here. My prediction was 250,000 pay-per-view buys, right? That would still be significantly less than the 2 million I predicted if it was on regular ESPN, right? So almost 10 times the amount of people would have been watching, right? And once again, ESPN could have sold some nice advertisement spots in that slot, right? So I think more people in the U.S. would have been able to watch this fight and would have watched this fight. And you could have opened Tyson Fury up to even more exposure. And even Dillian Whyte could have gotten some U.S. exposure. Imagine if he was able to pull off the upset. And he could start making a name for himself over here, and that would have been a great entry into the U.S. market for him, right? But by putting this fight on pay-per-view, I question whether or not that was the best move to do here in the United States with two non-U.S. fighters. And like I said, even though Tyson Fury has made some strides, we've seen what he's done with non-American fighters here, even when put on regular ESPN, right? But this fight has a story behind it. I think could have been promoted. It's been promoted pretty well. So I think it would have been a better move to put this on regular ESPN, and I just think more people would have been able to see it, and it would have been good for exposure for both fighters, and it would have also possibly have been good for ESPN as well. Like I said, I think they could have got a good chunk of people watching this, with all due respect, instead of the soccer, because they have soccer on right after the college football, and soccer is not a big sport here in the United States. So you can argue that this fight would have done better than the soccer, and they could have gotten some better advertisement spots for this fight as opposed to the soccer. Ruga, what's up, brother? What do you think about my analysis here? Am I off base here, or am I right?
Well, you're off about the soccer thing. Soccer does get viewed here in America like by a huge audience. It's just not well known, especially in certain areas. Cause like I live in California and soccer gets viewed here like
Okay.
es-
East Coast, East
especially
Coast, it's not that
especially
big. I'm in the East
yeah
Coast. Yeah, it's not that big over here.
yeah especially certain leagues and stuff. If you go to like I think I don't know the name of each league because I don't watch it, but
I
certain
think this
leagues
one,
in soccer
yeah, let me
get
the league to you that let me see if I can find it for you. It's the MLS, which that's the big
that's
soccer league.
American League.
That's the
That's the
American league.
American League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't
So,
is that popular in the West Coast? Because it's not really popular over here.
well, MLS should probably be pretty popular all over the United States since it is the United States League. But yeah, I know certain leagues in California is super big, but
Yeah.
MLS should be big throughout the whole nation. But yeah, most fights should. The thing is, like the premium channel networks like Showtime and HBO, I think they're dying out because they're going to apps now. And a lot of people don't sit at home to catch the fights no more. Everybody's on their phone. That's why I think the Zone had like a pretty good like I'm not gonna say expectation, but like an outlook on how they should do the fights by putting it on an app because everybody's on their phones, everybody's on the go now, so you don't have time to sit at home. And I know for the HBO app, I don't know about the Showtime app, but you don't get to watch things live. So I think you have to get like a Hulu app or something like that to watch things live. So that's like double stacking the subscriptions.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think they should just try and get all the fights on ESPN or Fox Sports, or they need to just get all these fights on different sports channels. Because I remember UFC used to actually be on Spike TV a while back, and that's how they pretty much grew. They picked a network and just stayed on it. So, but even they moved to ESPN because people want to watch sports, they go to the sports channel. So
Well, here's the $1 million question, brother. I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't even
yeah,
and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, because I don't want to put anyone in trouble here. Are you buying the pay per view?
nah, I probably won't even watch it. I'll watch the replay or something.
And
Cause
you're a pretty big boxing fan, correct?
yeah,
Now,
I'm
here's
I'm
another.
actually I'm actually an official.
You're an official, so meaning you're a judge, you're a referee, or what do you
Yeah,
do?
both.
Oh wow, okay. And here's another $1 million question for you. If the fight was just being broadcast on regular ESPN, would you watch it? Would you have watched it live?
More than likely with fights, I like to go to the bar and just watch
Okay.
it. Maybe pay like a $10 fee. Uh,
So
um,
are bars picking this fight up? I'm gonna obviously say probably not, because it's not an evening fight, right? So that's
for this type of fight, like places like Hooters might not pick it up, but like real sports bars, maybe Buffalo Wild Wings would pick it up.
You think so?
Yeah, you just gotta call, ask them. They'll probably tell you like, yeah, it's probably gonna be like a $10 fee. A lot of them won't, cause isn't there a UFC card
Is there a
today?
UFC card tonight? Let's
Cause
take a look.
usually those take priority.
Yeah, UFC.
unless like the boxing card is bigger. Like if Canelo fights, maybe if Earl Spence fights, Deontay Wilder, like if they fight, they're gonna take priority. But usually the UFC takes priority.
Yeah. Um, UFC schedule. Is there a UFC event tonight? I don't even know, to be honest. Oh wow, there is a today at 9 p.m. on yeah, it's a pay-per-view tonight
It's a pay per view.
at nine
Oh yeah,
o'clock. Yeah, it's a pay-per-view at 9 o'clock. Jessica Andrade versus Amanda Lemos.
that's pay per view.
I or is this just a fight? Is this oh, I apologize. It's a fight. It's a UFC fight night.
Okay,
So
usually those are free. So
where do they
that
put those on? Regular ESPN
I think so,
or
or
ESPN
ESPN
Plus?
Plus. Yeah,
Those on ESPN Plus, those fights?
yeah.
Excuse
I'm
my
not really
ignorance.
sure.
I'm a casual I'm a casual MMA fan. So yeah, okay, yeah. So I apologize. Yeah, this is a UFC fight night. Lemos versus Andrade. I'm
But
assuming
even with that being said, they'll probably show that fight. Like you probably have to ask certain places. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a specific place you can go to watch this fight. It might be like out of your driving range or something like that.
think
But
so.
yeah, because I think I even seen who was it? Sergey Kovalov when he fought the guy that beat him and then he beat him Elider Alvarez.
Elite or Alvarez. Yeah,
Yeah. That was showing in the bar. So it all depends on like what other things, what other sports are showing.
yeah. Boxing's probably a little more popular on the West Coast than it is in the East Coast. I would assume.
Yeah, of course.
Got
But
more gyms. You guys got more gyms in Cali. You got more gyms in Vegas than we do. New York used to. New York has like one famous gym, Gleason's, but even that gym's not that popular anymore. So
yeah, y'all got a gym out in Philly too.
yeah, there's a gym out in
But,
Philly. Yeah,
but I was
you
gonna
guys.
say also like the basketball games are showing it's playoff time for basketball. So that's probably going to affect it, but yeah, I think it's just the first round for NBA, so I don't think it's a big deal right now. It doesn't become like a big deal to like the quarterfinals.
What? Well, you got college football starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon on ESPN. It's going to go all the way up to like I think five ish, about 5:30 ish.
Where are they at in the season?
College football, yeah, probably winding it down. I would assume, right? You're getting close to the bowl games and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, college football.
I don't know.
But
I thought they finished college football in like February. That's
well,
like the championship
let me see
games
what they got
usually
here.
done
It
by
says,
February.
let me look at the. It says ESPN. Oh, hold on. Yeah, college football. It says ESPN high tech. Yeah, it's college football. Spring.
Somebody
It
said
says
ain't no college
spring league,
football.
spring football actually. College football, spring football. USC.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna
USC. USC
that's not
Trojans.
gonna
Yeah, the USC Trojans play their annual spring football game.
yeah, that's not gonna be like a that's not like major. That's not like during a major season where
Yeah, it's not a big thing, but I'm sure people will watch. I mean, football is still big over
and,
here.
and somebody said they got somebody on the card fighting with a 0-10 record. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if that's who.
the undercard's horrible. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why not just take the main event and put it on regular ESPN? That's what I'm trying to say.
The sad part is out here. I don't know for like a couple of fights they've been putting like the main card on TV, and then you gotta. I mean the undercard on TV, which nobody's watching, and then they're putting like the pay per view as pay per view. They're not even showing like the main card. They're not showing the co main. They're just showing the straight undercard. And it's like nobody's gonna watch that.
Yeah. Let me see if this what's going on here with this UFC card because this may even be on I'm not even sure if this may not even be on regular ESPN. Some of the fights. But yeah, it's crazy, man. All the sports that are on the weekends, man. If you think about it, look at all the sports.
Yeah,
Premier
because you said
Premier
the fight's gonna be at what 6 o'clock
the
Pacific
main
Standard
event
Time.
the main event will probably go off at about 5:30 ish, maybe five
Oh,
thirty
so
ish.
it's gonna be on around noon my time.
Yeah,
The main
yeah.
card.
Well,
Damn.
no, 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3. But main event's gonna probably go off about 2 o'clock your
Yeah,
time.
so I'm saying like the main the co-main and the main might come on around
And
noon.
that's the thing. So if you're in the West Coast, right,
Yeah, that's the prime of the day.
you have to buy this pay per view at
One
11.
o'clock.
11. Who's gonna buy this pay per view at 11 in the morning? Like it's just like I
Most people
said.
don't even know who's fighting today. I ain't gonna lie to you,
Yeah,
because I was at work Tuesday, and before I left, like the guy asked me like who's fighting this weekend. I'm like, I don't think it's a
yeah,
fight. He was like, isn't Shakur Stevenson fighting? I'm like, nah, that's for like another 2 weeks or something.
yeah.
And he was like, I seen it. I knew somebody's fighting. I had to look it up, and I'm like, oh snap, Tyson Fury fights
Yeah.
today. So
Someone in the chat just said college football has been done. Yes, but they're showing a spring league game today. USC is playing a spring league game. It's on ESPN. So that's the thing.
it says the fight is free on ESPN Plus.
No,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not.
that's the thing. Oh, it's not. That's the thing. I don't know anybody that actually has ESPN Plus. Like I have
Yeah, a lot of people
no.
don't have ESPN Plus.
And then you just said the fight's not even free. So what's the point of
Oh, it's
getting
pay
it?
per view, brother. Been telling you it's pay per view. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what's the point of getting ESPN Plus if you're not going to get the fight for free? You know?
Well, they have other events on there. If you like soccer, you can watch soccer on there. If you like other sports, college sports, you can watch college sports on there. You can watch some boxing
Yeah,
on there. They show some boxing on there for free.
but what promotional companies use ESPN Plus though? Because I know that
Top
PBC
Rank,
fighters aren't on there. Just
Top
Top
Rank,
Rank.
yeah, Top Rank uses them. UFC
That's it.
uses them. Yeah, Top Rank's got a deal with ESPN, bro.
No other promotional companies use
No,
ESPN Plus.
no,
See, that's the thing. I don't think anybody's going to watch it just for Top Rank fighters.
you know, but that's why.
UFC is UFC's killing it on ESPN Plus. That's probably why most people get it. So
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, the thing about ESPN Plus is, um, yeah, there's something there for everybody. If you're a soccer fan, if you're a football fan, if you're a baseball fan, whatever the case may be, you get to watch all. Like if you go to ESPN Plus right now, um, there's all types of live events. Oh, when I opened it up, it said, first thing that popped up is Fury versus Whyte today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Wow, so they got an ad for it right now when you open it up. So that's a pretty good look. I don't know how.
so two
I don't know if
p.m.
that's gonna
Eastern
help.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
11.
So right now there's all types of sports going on right now. There's
When Fury fought Klitschko, I remember I didn't even know the fight happened. I remember I was just walking around. I'm like, all right, let me look at when the fight comes on, and I look, and I'm like, oh, Fury already won. And that's
yeah
the thing with watching like a lot of fights in the UK. A lot of people out here, we don't really keep track of the time, and we always forget. Like, oh, the fight's coming on. Like, who fought out there? Trying to think. What
yeah
time
like,
did Spence fight Kell Brook? Because I feel like that fight came on at a later time than
that
usual.
fight was about like 6 o'clock ish too. Yeah. Right now there's a lot of soccer. There's a lot of soccer on ESPN Plus right now. There's some golf. Um, what else? There's rowing. There's all types of shit right now. A lot of rowing on rugby. Uh, yeah, there's all types of sports on here, man. There's car racing. So there's something on here for everybody, man. There's like some shows.
Somebody said they did show undercard fights free last week, but that wasn't ESPN though. That came on Showtime.
Yeah, that was on their app. They showed it on
They showed that on TV.
Yeah, they showed it on YouTube too, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only way to go nowadays. But ESPN, like, do they show the fights on YouTube?
No, no, brother.
See,
This fight's pay-per-view, brother. There's
no, I'm
no
saying the undercard, the undercard.
sometimes they'll show the undercard on ESPN Plus. Sometimes they show mostly they show the undercard on ESPN Plus, but I don't think
See
they're going to be.
that?
This is a this they have a pay-per-view event here, and they're starting at 2, and they're just showing fights via pay-per-view here, man. So the
See,
way it
yeah,
is.
that's the that's killing me.
So yeah, I like I said, I think they should have just put this on regular ESPN, sort of like how Klitschko Fury was on HBO and Joshua's fights.
You talking about the main event or just the undercard they
Just the
showed
main
on you?
event, just the main event,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
main
don't
event.
even show the
Just
undercard.
just just pay the rights fee for the fight. You
Yeah,
know, a nice
wasn't
nice nice 2 hour slot. You know what I mean?
wasn't Terrence Crawford versus Dongo? Wasn't that the only fight on ESPN when they showed that?
Yeah, that was on regular. I think that was on regular ESPN.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was the only fight they showed, I believe, or they might have
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
another one right
A lot
before.
of times they'll show like maybe 1 or 2 fights, but for the most part, in a situation like this, they just buy the one fight.
Yeah, I think they should have did
Yeah,
that with this fight.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I've
I
been
agree
saying.
with you.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. Because they got that college football game on. I mean, obviously football season's over and that's a spring game, but still, I think people still in America like football, right? If they're hanging around the house, whatever. But a lot of people are coming home at around 5, 6 o'clock, even on the weekends. And they usually get ready if they're going to go out, they're getting ready to go out like at, 8ish, right?
But
So,
I'm
so
probably
this,
thinking
this
of
would have been
ES.
a great time slot for people. I think a lot of people would have just watched this, man, if you put it on
That's the
regular
thing,
ESPN.
though. I don't know if ESPN is probably looking at it like it's gonna take place so early in the day. It's not gonna get that much viewers anyway. So that's probably what they're thinking about.
But
Like,
6 o'clock is not a horrible time slot, man, for a
yeah, for East Coast though, but you got to think for West Coast, that's
yeah,
not good
yeah,
unless they show the replay like at a later time, which they could have did.
yeah. I just have a feeling. I'm being optimistic saying that this fight could sell 200,000, 250,000 pay-per-view buys here in the United States, but I have a feeling that it could also has the potential to bomb too because of the time slot. And now when I'm talking to like guys like you who are fans, talking to a lot of fans who are saying, "Hey, I'm just going to stream it." A lot of people are telling me they're going to stream it. So
Yeah,
this is going to be an issue in my opinion. So who do you think's going to win the fight, man? Who you picking?
Tyson Fury, but however you want to win, if he wanted to take it the distance, he could do that. And then I heard that Dylan White came in kind of heavy at the weigh-in, so
Yeah, he was about 6 pounds heavier, and Tyson Fury was he was about 13 pounds lighter, man, or 11, no 13 pounds. Yeah, he was 13 pounds lighter because he was 277 for his last fight. It's like 264 for this fight, so like 13 pounds lighter. You know,
wasn't he claiming that he was like sick for the last fight?
Well, he's coming off of COVID. His wife is
Yeah,
having a baby. He was spending a lot of time in the hospital because the baby was premature, or whatever.
he's still at Kronk.
He's still with Sugar Hill.
Yeah, he might knock out Dylan White, maybe 6 rounds.
Probably gonna knock out Dillian White. Did you watch the
I
fight last week?
with Spence and Ugas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
What'd you think of that?
Uh, it was pretty good in the beginning. Ugas kept the high guard as usual. I think Spence realized by like the third or fourth round that like, yeah, I don't want to box with this dude. I'm making it harder than it has to be, and he just started getting aggressive, staying in the pocket and just working around his guard because he's just standing right in front of him. And then I don't know how early it took him to break his orbital bone or whatever he did, but
Yeah.
once he did that, the fight was pretty much over. But there was other good fights. The Stanionis fight, which was the undercard, which was on Showtime, that was a good fight.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like he won the fight. Um, what else? I don't know why Gamboa was fighting, man. I knew I didn't want to watch that fight, and then actually seeing it, it was worse than what I even predicted. I'm like, man, why are they putting him in here with these dudes like that? Like, he doesn't need to be fighting those young up and comers. Uh,
Somebody,
getting hurt.
sly tendencies in the chat wants to take this to another direction, and we can do that. He says, "Can you do a fast breakdown on why Fury has a better record than AJ? I heard you say it once before." I'm not gonna say he's got a better record because it's subjective. In my opinion, Tyson Fury's biggest wins um are better than Joshua's biggest wins. One of Joshua's biggest wins is against Vladimir Klitschko, right? Um, who I think was
They
way better.
both beat him.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, Vladimir Klitschko was way past it, and Joshua was favored to beat that version of Vladimir Klitschko, right? And the fight was in the UK, whatever. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, when he beat Vladimir Klitschko, Klitschko was a 4-1 favorite. No one has ever beaten Klitschko in 10 years, and Klitschko's never lost by decision. The only time he's ever lost fights was by knockout. Tyson Fury actually boxed the shit out of him, I thought. I had that fight like 9 rounds to 3. He did it being a 4-1 underdog, and he also did it, right, in Klitschko's adoptive hometown of Germany, right? The crowd was for Klitschko, right? So yeah, I think that win was more impressive for Tyson Fury than the version of Klitschko that Joshua fought. And then you can look at the Derek Chisora fights where when they were both coming up, the first fight was thought to have been a 50-50 fight. They were fighting for, I think, a British Commonwealth title. That was a very impressive win in my opinion. Uh, Also, when you look at the fights with Wilder, right? Wilder was thought to
Yeah.
be either the best or the second best heavyweight in the world. Tyson Fury was the underdog in all three of those fights. All three of those fights, he was the underdog.
Are
All
you
three
sure
of
he
those,
wasn't the third? Because
he was the
I know he
underdog in
was
all.
in the second.
I can guarantee you, man, he was the underdog in all three of those fights.
Because
I can guarantee you that.
most people thought he was going to beat Wilder in the third fight after
Not
knocking him out
necessarily.
in
No,
the second.
I still had a lot of people telling me they thought Wilder was going to win. Be
Yeah,
honest with
a lot of people was going on the little glove scandal or whatever,
you.
but
Yeah. So when you
a
look at
lot of
those three fights against Wilder, right? Those are legacy fights. Like Wilder was thought to be even the best or the second best, right?
yeah,
So when you take now, people are going to say, well, Joshua has more solid wins. Okay, like who do you
I don't
think? Like,
understand that
I
because
mean, let's look at the guys Joshua beat. Like he beat Povetkin. With all the respect, Povetkin is a good guy. Charles Martin. I mean, that was his first.
I'm mad Charles Martin lost me money, man. I had
No,
like
Fury
400 on.
Fury was not the favorite. I remember when I was betting it, Fury was not the favorite in the rematch in the third fight, bro.
Charles Martin lost me like 400 when I picked him to beat Ortiz. I thought Ortiz was just gonna get injured during the fight because he always like he's been walking like pretty weird, like losing his footing when he fights. So and Charles Martin every time he fights
Okay,
somebody he's gonna get
the
injured.
third fight, Fury was the favorite. He was a minus 280. I apologize. You are right, Ryan Hong. The first two fights, he was the underdog. Yeah, he was the favorite
Yeah,
in the third fight. I apologize to you, Ryan. You're right. Um, but that I remember though, those odds kind of went down. They went down like he was down. Like then Fury was like a minus 285, and Wilder was a plus 225. Yeah, you're right. He was the favorite. I apologize. I misspoke. I apologize. He wasn't the favorite in the second fight though. I do remember that. Let's do Fury Wilder two odds. I remember in the second fight he was
yeah, I believe Wilder was still the favorite in the second
yeah,
fight.
the second fight. Yeah, Fury was a plus 105. In the he was the underdog, but it was like still close. He was a slight Fury was a slight underdog in the second fight. He was a plus 105. Yeah. Uh, no, it technically he was the underdog, Ryan, because he was like a plus 105. And Wilder was like a minus 120 or something like that. It was close to a pick 'em, but technically he was a slight underdog. But yeah, like I said, I think Fury's biggest wins are better than Joshua's biggest wins, and they're more impressive. Fury, his biggest wins were on the road. Joshua's biggest wins were at home, right? Whether that means anything to you or not, that means something to me. When you can do it in someone's backyard, I think there's more pressure on you. I think it's harder. Um, so when you look at Joshua, one of his titles was a vacant title. The WBA was a vacant title to Klitschko. The Charles Martin victory. I mean, with all due respect, Charles Martin wasn't really, in my opinion, a solid champion. He was more of a belt holder, right? He won that fight on a technicality when he won the title. And Joseph Parker, solid guy, but not an all-time great, right? So I don't know. I think, like I said, it's subjective, but I think Joshua has more solid wins than Fury, but I think Fury's biggest wins has bigger wins, and his bigger wins are more impressive to me. I mean, Joshua went life and death with Klitschko, I think, before he knocked him out. Now, obviously, that fight was more emphatic. The ending of that fight was more emphatic, but at the end of the day, I think Fury took Klitschko to school, man, and I think that fight was more impressive. So yeah, that's how I sum that up. That's how I sum that up. But what's up, little Penny? What's going on, brother? Do you how are you going to be able to watch this fight over in what is it, Australia? Or no, it's New Zealand. I apologize, New Zealand. How are you going to be able to watch this fight in New Zealand?
Yeah, you know what, Beebs? I think I'm just gonna listen to your live stream, man, because this fight's gonna be one-sided, dude. I think Fury's gonna KO him brutally. Whyte always gets KO'd brutally, anyways. Like he got KO'd brutally against AJ, which he should have KO'd him. Looking back at it now, right? How AJ is a little chinny. He should have knocked him out, and I think it was in the fourth round. Like he had he threw a left hook, and then yeah, that's right. And then it was actually him that got brutally KO'd, and then he got brutally KO'd by an old Povetkin, man. I don't know who. God knows how old Povetkin was, but and that uppercut, like it wasn't like an uppercut where it was like Riddick Burrow was like thundering left hook. Oh, sorry, thundering uppercut. He got KO'd like badly in that fight against Povetkin, and I don't know. I think Fury is better than both of those guys, anyway. So I'm thinking, and also Fury is like 250, right, Beeps? Like or
260. He's 264. He was 13 pounds lighter than he was for the third fight, and Whyte was actually 6 pounds heavier. And I think Whyte. Here's my argument against Whyte. The after the press conference, the final press conference, right? They're in Wembley, right? And Suleiman's there, Mauricio Suleiman, and he's sitting there like going back and forth with Suleiman, like he's more focused on being bitter about having to wait so long. He's more focused on feeling as though he's been disrespected. He's more focused on not being able to be flown around in a private jet to the press conference. He's more focused on not getting enough tickets. He's still complaining about the purse split, right? And he's complaining about how much money he spent in legal fees to get the fight, right? It was a waste of time suing the WBC because you still had to wait regardless, because you only prolonged the process by having it go to arbitration, having it go to the legal process because you dragged it out. And I feel that they went 80-20 as retaliation against all the negativity that he thrown their way and all the resistance. Like he would have gotten the shot. Like by doing what he did not expedite the process of him getting the title shot because he still had to wait regardless. And I think it ended up hurting him in the long run. Yeah. So that's his fault. That's
Because
his.
why didn't the WBC make Wilder at that time like a diamond belt and make what's his name Whyte like the regular champion? You know what, kind of like what they do to Canelo, or you know what I mean?
Oh, like the franchise, because Wilder was
Franchise,
offered the
sorry.
franchise, he decided to not. He didn't want to take it. He didn't want the franchise.
So
And
Dylan White ended up getting knocked out, like you said.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Dillian Whyte was not treated properly, but he made himself be treated worse by the way he reacted to not being treated properly. And sometimes when you're angry about a situation, you got to pick and choose your battles, and you got to know how to fight your battles. There's been issues that I've had in my life, right, when I was younger, and I saw how I reacted to them, and I made my circumstances worse by certain reactions, because sometimes when you try to fight, you got to be strategic in how you fight.
Mike
You
Tyson.
can't always be aggressive. You
Yeah.
can't always be confrontational. Sometimes you got to be savvy on how you do your work, right? And by
think
him
the-
sitting there challenging them, right, getting a lawyer. And this guy, did you see his lawyer when he was on Talk Sport being interviewed? And he's trying to negotiate. He's talking about things that they wanted after they signed the contract. And he was being asked, well, are those things in the contract? And he was being told, and he replied, no. So why is his lawyer still fighting for things after they signed the contract? I just think he was misrepresented throughout this whole ordeal and this process. And even though I agree he wasn't treated fairly, he made the situation worse for himself by the way he reacted to not being treated fairly. He exacerbated it all.
I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna say, not only do I think he was treated fairly by the WBC, but you said he was mishandled. Um, Also, I think a lot of it goes on Eddie Hearn because I don't think Eddie Hearn was actually
100%.
he wasn't
100%.
actually going out his way to try and make a lot of these fights. And I see him doing it with guys like Devin Haney. He does that a lot when he doesn't really focus on his fighters. He'll just have them around as like kind of gatekeepers for other fighters.
Well, Dillian Whyte was on a fight to fight with him. So if he really believed in Dillian Whyte, don't you think he would have signed him to a long term or at least a 3 or 4 fight deal? He was
Maybe that was Dylan White's plan, and then he saw it as like, since you're
possibly,
not going to commit, I'm not going to commit to you type thing.
possibly. Sly, what's going on, brother? Am I off on anything here, or what do you think? Oh, Sly's. I don't know if Sly's. Yeah, I can't. I don't know if your mic's not working or
maybe he's on mute.
are you on mute? I don't know.
Nah, he's not on mute.
He's not on mute.
Sly's a cool dude, man.
Maybe you can jump
No,
in.
he
And,
is.
are you there, Sly?
I don't think
Maybe
his
you can
mic's
jump.
working.
Maybe you can jump in and jump out. I'll let you back in.
Yeah.
You can jump in and jump out. I'll let you back in if you want.
Hey, Beebs, what's your prediction? Beebs, Ruga, what's your prediction for this fight?
9th round stoppage.
If I had to pick, I'd go Fury in 7.
Yeah,
Second?
7.
7.
Oh, seventh. Yeah, okay.
I'm recommending betting Fury at a minus
Dylan White.
at a
Dylan
minus
White usually
155 with the knockout proposition. Sly, you got your audio sorted out?
I think so.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right, Joe. I think the problem, like, nobody's going to deny that Dillian Whyte got the raw deal from the WBC. But I'll tell you one thing: I was so on the fence until I heard that TalkSport interview where Dillian White's lawyer came on. And once I heard him talking, I was like, Jesus Christ, he's got Saul Goodman as a lawyer. like,
He's got
like,
he's got fucking Fernaldin Blumenthal as a fucking lawyer.
yeah. Like, this guy clearly doesn't know shit about procedure, boxing. He doesn't know. He was like, all the stuff that he was complaining about, like you said, is stuff that it just shows you that he ain't no kind of businessman. Like, all the stuff he was complaining about is stuff that you negotiate in. And even Eddie Hearn came on and said, look, he's used to getting things a certain way with DAZN, but that stuff wasn't negotiated in. And I was thinking, like, how is that Fury's fault? It was kind of ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing. To my knowledge, from what I've heard through my research, Top Rank was offering him like 25%, possibly 30%, right?
Yeah.
and they were going to give him a small cut of the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that he wanted an $11 million guarantee, and he wanted like 40%, 45%. He wanted 45% actually, right? He wanted an $11 million guarantee with 45%. Now they offered him, I think somewhere in the ballpark of 6.5 to 7, right? He wanted 11. He wanted 11. They weren't going to give, Top Rank wasn't going to give him 11, right? He wanted 45%. They were open to 25 to 30. So the original deal that he was going to get, right, was better than the deal he's gotten now. And by going to court, by having it go to purse bids, right, and by having this dragged out and having it go to arbitration, he got nothing extra. He actually lost out by going the route he chose to go. Now he can sit there and say, "Well, it says that an interim champion can get up to 45%." But what he fails to tell you is, at WBC's discretion, they can determine the split at their discretion. And I keep telling people, you got to read the fine print in these rules with the WBC, because ever since Roy Jones sued them, right, and they almost went bankrupt. After that, they went and revised all their rules. And if you look at them, at the end of all their rules, it says subject to change at the WBC's discretion, right?
Yeah.
So they've pretty much covered their ass, and their rules can be interpreted any way they want their rules to be interpreted. And if you're going to fight for their title, you're pretty much at their mercy. You could win an eliminator, and they can continue to order eliminators until you're fucking 90 if they want, and you're not going to be guaranteed a shot. Like, they didn't do anything wrong. Now, ethically, you can argue they did something wrong, but in terms of legality, they did not do anything wrong, right? So you got to read the whole rule. And everyone's
you can't sign a contract that you don't. You sign a contract that you don't even read, and then you're upset with what the contract says.
And when you sign a purse bid, when you win it, when there's a purse bid contract that you sign, all it states is what your guarantee is. You're not obliged, and you're not afforded to get any pay-per-view revenue, right?
Yeah.
That's that. Now, obviously, the deal Tyson Fury has with Top Rank, they're allowing that. But why are they going to go out of their way to do any special favors for a guy who forced them into purse bid, who sued the WBC, who prolonged the process, who made Tyson Fury wait where he could have had other fights in between? Why are they going to go out of their way to do a guy favors who met them with resistance and gave them, met them with hostility?
Yeah.
Why are they going to go out of their way? They don't promote Dillian Whyte. Why are they going to give him a pay-per-view cut if they don't have to? According to the purse bid contract, all they have to do is give him 20%. They're not obliged to give him anything else. They're not obliged. Where does it say in a purse bid contract how many tickets you're supposed to get? Where does it say in a purse bid contract we're supposed to fly you in a private jet? It doesn't say any of those things.
It got embarrassing too, because Dillian Whyte, what was so he's just his own worst enemy. It got so embarrassing because they started exposing how much money he was actually making. And after he's telling people he's making $4, $5, $6 million a fight, you actually find out that he's not making anywhere near that. It's not even close.
Listen, let's just look at it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say he signed for $6.5 million, right? We're just going to do some simple math here, and we're going to do some conservative numbers, right? Say he signed for $6.5 million, and they gave him a 25% pay-per-view upside, right? Win, lose or draw. Now, let's do say they do 900,000 pay-per-view buys in the UK, right? That's conservative, right?
25 pounds up.
Times that by what? 20, what is it, like $28 US if you were to convert it? That's $25,200,000, right? In the UK, I think I don't know how they work it. Let's just say if they take if the cable, if Sky or whoever the pay-per-view provider takes, I don't know the percentage. Let's say they take 50% of that.
Yeah. Conservative.
Let's be conservative here. So now there's $12,600,000, right? That's left over. Let's take 25% of that.
The gate, 94,000
I don't
times.
think they get the gate. So
Oh, no?
he would have gotten 3,150,000, right? Plus the 6.5 million.
US revenue too, Bibbs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the US side, right? So win, lose, or draw, right? He would have now we're gonna do the US. Let's just say they do 100,000, and we'll take 40% of the 100,000 buys. Let's do that now. Plus 100,000 times 70, right? And they'll get 40% of that. So there would be 6 million left of that. He gets 25% of that. So that's another 1,665, right? And these are conservative numbers, right? These are conservative numbers, right? So 1.665 plus the 665. He would have gotten a potential $8 million in pay-per-view revenue if he took 25%, right?
Yep.
Right? And then you add the 6.5 on top of that.
Imagine if you had been promoting the whole time too.
You know?
That's what makes it even worse.
Also, Box Azteca pays a lot of money for boxing.
So he could have gotten, right? He could have gotten a $14 million payday if he took the 25%, right?
Oh.
Of the pay-per-view cut, right?
No.
So now, what's he getting now? What is it? 7 point. What's his guarantee now? He's just getting a flat seven? Was he get a flat 7 million?
It's a little bit more. I think he said it was like potentially if he wins with the win bonus, it's like close to 8 million. But that's if he wins.
No, if he wins, no. Here's the thing: he gets an additional. I think his purse is like seven. I think it's like.
Oh, you're talking about base. My bad. Yeah.
His base is like 7,700,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he gets an additional 4 million if he wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he has to win. So let's look at his best case scenario in this current situation, because he's mad because he knows he fucked up.
Yeah.
He knows he fucked up, right? So he could potentially make close to $12 million if he wins, where he could have gotten 14 something win, lose, or draw if he took the 25%. So he fucked up. He left money on the table this is the problem in life when you make moves based on emotion and principle, right? In principle, I do think the WBC was wrong, but you weren't gonna beat them fighting them the way you chose to fight them. You ended up making your situation worse. It's like this. Let me just break it down in simplistic terms. I have an employer. If I have a dispute with the employer, I'm lucky enough. I gotta mute someone. They got some background. I'm lucky enough to be able to use a union, right? So if I have a problem with my employer, am I going to go in the office and start fighting with that person? Am I going to get a lawyer and fight the company myself, or am I going to go through the union and let them fight the problem for me, right? So you got to be more strategic here. Like you got to sit down and have a talk with the WBC. Maybe have some discussions before you actually, and even bring a lawyer in there or a manager in there with you and just discuss and voice your concerns and try to work out some type of compromise. But by suing them and taking a hostile stance and approach, then they're going to go out of their, they're not going to go out of their way to do you any favors, right?
Or Beebs, what about the cheaper option? Just ask Eddie Hearn what to do. He's been through this before with other fighters. How come you didn't ask him? I'm
Well,
sure.
but let's look at the history between Dillian White and Eddie Hearn. When Eddie Hearn was trying to put together a Dillian White Anthony Joshua fight back in 2019, right? He lowballed Dillian White then. So why was it okay for Eddie Hearn to lowball Dillian White? But and his lowball offer, I think, was like $5 million. He only offered his deal was like 4 or 5, like it was $4 million originally. Then they upped it to 5. They ended up offering Big Baby Miller close to 7. So, has Eddie Hearn really had Dillian White's best interest at heart throughout the course of their relationship?
Do you think 5 million at that time was a low ball? Because what you say, he's only getting 7 million now.
Well, you have to ask yourself. Listen to what I said. The whole sentence. They offered Dillian White 5 million, and Big Baby Miller was offered 7.
But Big Baby Miller is more well known in America.
Well, that could be argued. I could walk down the street right now and ask people who Jarrell Miller is. They're not going to know who he is.
You have to remember too that Eddie is pretty notorious for for lowballing people. I mean, I understand why they gave Andy Ruiz, the first fight he took on a couple weeks' notice, and they gave him, I think it came out to like 17% of the deal, like when he fought AJ the first time. But
listen, Eddie Hearn has not done Dillian White any favors throughout the course of his career.
Yeah.
And if he wants to be mad, and Frank Warren, I don't always agree with Frank Warren, and obviously his take is a biased take. But think of this, right? Look what Frank Warren's done with Tyson Fury, and then compare that to what Eddie Hearn's done with Dillian White. Like, Eddie Hearn has not done Dillian White any favors. He hasn't done anything to help out the situation and expedite the process of him getting a title shot any sooner than he did. And if Dillian White is still pissed off and aggravated about that situation, right? And he's telling Mauricio Suleiman, you put all this stress on me. I blew all this money trying to fight you. And if he is so mentally worn out and drawn and so focused on that, and coming in 6 pounds heavier for this fight than he did against Povetkin, and this guy is a much, much tougher challenge, obviously, you have to ask yourself the mental state of this guy going into this fight, right? At this point, did he exert all his energy fighting to get here, and there's not enough left to actually win the fight? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Hey, Beebs, because he's 6 pounds more, he may be looking for a quick knockout. I don't think he's looking to go the distance.
I'm going to be honest with you, and a lot of people may not want to hear this, and they're going to probably argue and say that this is a biased opinion, right? They're going to say this is a biased opinion, but I think Dillian White's going to get obliterated in this fight.
Yeah, I agree.
They're gonna get obliterated. Listen to this one. Listen to this guy. What a load of shit, baby. You need to do more homework, fella. This is so funny how the UK fans they actually defend promoters who throughout the history of boxing have been fucking fighters for years, right? But yet you got guys like this actually defending the promoter who doesn't take a punch, right? Who doesn't get in the ring. You don't pay to see the promoter, you pay to see the fighter. But he's more focused on the promoter. Isn't that like bizarre?
Some of these people got allegiances to the promoter.
And then this guy, if he met Eddie Hearn face to face, Eddie Hearn would walk right by him and probably wouldn't even look at him twice. But yet he wants to ride Eddie Hearn's dick. Isn't that weird? That's so weird how people are defending a promoter who doesn't give 2 fucks about them.
Hey, Beebs, one of your subscribers, the God Mara, has Whyte winning too. Okay, all right.
Has a right to his opinion.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'll say this.
I just gotta ask, how does he do it? How does he knock out Fury? Like, what does he do?
First of all, here's the thing.
From the get-go.
Each time Tyson Fury has been significantly hurt or knocked down in a fight, He was knocked down in 2011. By this by no, that was 2013. He actually, people don't know that he was knocked out in 2011 by another fighter. I have to look up his name. He's a Eastern European guy. He knocked him down with an overhand right. Steve Cunningham knocked him down with an overhand right. Deontay Wilder knocked him 4 times with what? A right hand. I've never seen him hurt. I've never seen him hurt, staggered, or knocked down by a left hook. And I could be wrong. But the punch that generally gets to Tyson Fury is the right hand, right? And when you're throwing, and when you, Navan Pajic, that's exactly who it is. I had that written down somewhere. But here's the thing. I've never seen him. And again, when you're throwing a left hook, it comes up from a 45-degree angle and it levels out, right? That's how you get the most power out of a left hook. When you start reaching up with a left hook, it becomes more of an arm punch. Less of your leg and your hip goes into it, and you're actually reaching with it. Now with a right hand, you could throw it over the top, just like a baseball player, how he throws a pitch, goes over the top, puts his whole body pushing off his back foot, hip, shoulder, boom. You could generate power like that. We saw Steve Cunningham, the way he threw that right hand. It was one of the most beautiful right hands I've ever seen. And Tyson Fury's lucky it landed high on the head and not closer to the chin, because it could have had a different result.
Not only that,
Fury
Fury was
here's again. Listen to this. This is why people don't know what boxing is. First of all, Otto hurt him with the left hook.
No, I hit him with his head.
First of all, southpaws don't have left hooks. They have left hands. A hook is thrown with your lead hand. A hook is not thrown with the hand in the back. Okay, so people throw looping left hands from a southpaw stance. They don't throw left hooks. That's number one. Number two, when you say he was hurt or was he injured? Because you're cut, because you suffered a cut, doesn't mean you were hurt in terms of being incapacitated, staggered. And number two, he laced him with the gloves where he cut him. And Tyson Fury still, under all those conditions, still almost knocked him out in the last round. And he won the fight 9-3. So when you say hurt, was he knocked down? Was he buckled? Was he staggered? Because anyone can get cut. Like if someone scrapes your eye the wrong way and they draw blood, I could take a razor and cut my finger. Am I really hurt or am I injured? There's a difference, So you can argue he was injured in that fight, but was he hurt?
Hey, Beebs, when the Wallen...
No, he didn't. You watched that fight. Let me ask you a question. Listen to what this guy said. In the late rounds, he got wobbled. Did Fury ever get wobbled in that fight? Did he ever look hurt in that fight?
He hit Fury with a couple of flurries, but I don't think he was ever hurt. He was just trying to get out the way.
Listen, Fury got cut in that fight because Wallen laced him with the gloves. Go back and watch it. He laced him with the gloves and he cut his eye. Fury was never staggered, wobbled, or hurt in that fight. He actually finished that fight very strongly and almost stopped Wallen. So, no, he's never been hurt by a left hook. Southpaws don't throw left hooks. They throw looping left hands from the back. If people think this is a right hook. No, it's not. It's a looping right hand. That's not a left hook. A left hook is thrown from the lead with the lead hand, and it's thrown like this. That's a looping left hand. And again, he laced him. Go back and watch it. At no point in that time, the only adversity and trouble Fury suffered in that fight was whether or not the cut was bad enough for him for the referee to stop it or the doctor to stop the fight. He was never physically hurt in that fight. He was injured, but he was never physically hurt, where he was wobbled, where he was staggered, where he was knocked down.
Hey, Beebs, I recently watched Pacquiao Cotto again because I love watching the first 4 rounds of that fight, and you could tell Miguel Cotto, who's a great left hooker, right? He tried it on Pacquiao a few times, but Pacquiao, who's not even a great boxer, he's more of a puncher. He neutralized that. So I'm thinking if Whyte does that to Fury, and Fury is a better boxer than Manny, I'm quite sure Fury will neutralize that.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna
So
say in the Cunningham fight, Fury was reaching out. He was trying to grab the back of Cunningham's head when he got popped with that overhand right. So he was wide open for that shot.
Hey, by the way, the undercard. Hey, Maestro.
Yo, what's going on? You know,
Hey,
I'm supposed to go out and enjoy a nice day here upstate in New York with my wife, but I had to jump on because what I was hearing was just outright nonsense. I was in the chat, just trying to watch the show, in the background, listen to what Joe has to say, Lil Penny, everybody else. And then I literally heard Joe going back and forth with a guy who's trying to claim that Otto Wallin hurt the Gypsy King.
yeah,
This never happened, ladies
there's
and
a
gentlemen.
difference. There's a difference
This
between
never happened.
there's a difference between being injured and actually hurt from the injury.
Yeah, I mean, if I get a paper cut and there's blood all over my sheet, that happened every now and again when I was at school. You're coming up as a kid, you don't quite know how to be super cautious. A little piece of paper catches you, you need a little paper cut. There's blood all over the place, but are you actually really hurt? No, it's a little paper cut. The teacher comes, she gives you a little tissue cloth, you wipe it off. She sends you to the bathroom to wash your hands. You come back, she puts a Band-Aid on. You go along with the rest of your day. Tyson Fury had a bad cut. He was never hurt, wobbled, stunned, dropped, etc. They recently asked Shakur Stevenson about being hurt. He made it very clear. Right? Look, I thought we were grown men talking about boxing. Like, he made it very clear, Shakur Stevenson, what hurt means in boxing. It means you don't know where you are. It means you stumbled. It means you're a little dizzy. It doesn't mean you got your feelings hurt. It doesn't mean you got your feelings hurt. Okay? It doesn't mean you were cut. In boxing, hurt means you lost your senses. You don't quite know where you are right now. You might be concussed. But you're wobbled. You're stunned. You're dropped. That's hurt. Right? I mean, we're not talking about feelings. We're not talking about cuts. So keep it real. Okay,
he might have got buzzed. Like a ding.
Here's the problem with people. Now then, Beeb, I'm a Fury fan, but unlike you Yanks, dick riding Fury. Fury beat Klitschko, good win. Then beat a cupcake Wilder twice. Should be three.
He wasn't a cupcake when Joshua was supposed to fight him.
Yeah,
they weren't calling him a cupcake then.
Wilder's
now he's a
cupcake.
Cupcake because Fury beat him.
Here's the problem, guys. This is what you have to understand. Okay, listen to this. Fury was wobbled in the 12th, lost his senses for 10 seconds. Stop. He was
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't. I mean, you want him to be hurt, but he wasn't hurt. He just
maybe was buzzed. He was buzzed, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Was Fury ever in danger of getting knocked out in that fight?
Nah.
You just call Wilder a cupcake. It's just crazy to me.
I just, and again, my statement was he was never ever hurt by a left hook. I've never seen a guy hurt, stun, or wobble or knock him down with a left hook. That's the statement. I never said he's never been cut in the fight, right? I just don't understand.
Beebs, can Whyte make this fight dirty? Like, can he make it dirty? Like,
I mean, I've never seen him fight in that way where he's
like an Orlando Salido type fight.
I've never seen him do it, so I don't know. Can he possibly? I've just never seen him do it.
Fury towers himself. If he leads with his head, he's gonna just get held down, and Fury's gonna put his weight on the back of his head. Drop that elbow on the back of his neck and just sit like.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. When we can go back and forth and question everyone's opponents, right? But we have to understand one thing. We're not in the 90s and we're not in the 70s. There's no Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, George Foreman in this era, really, right?
There's the Gypsy King, though.
There's a Gypsy King. There's no Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. You know, like this era is not the greatest era of heavyweights. You had Joshua, Wilder, and Fury. Those were the top three, right?
Yeah.
And then you had everyone else.
Yeah.
So again, you know, was Charles Martin a great opponent? Was he a threat to Joshua? Was Klitschko at the time that he fought Joshua after being out for almost 3 years and already losing, and
Carlos Takam,
like
Pulev.
None of these guys have great resumes. In my opinion, I think Tyson Fury has the best, most standout wins out of all of them.
He does, because his win against Klitschko was better than Joshua's win against Klitschko, and his wins against Wilder are better than Joshua's wins against anybody that Joshua's fought. Let's keep it real. I mean, Joshua won his title against Prince Charles Martin, okay, a guy who just got blasted out by a 43-year-old Luis Ortiz. Let's keep it real, okay? And since then, I mean, who has he really beat? Povetkin? Okay, I mean, we give you a little credit for that. By the way, he got touched by Povetkin. Right there. People want to talk about Fury getting cut by Wallin. What about Povetkin putting hands on their boy, the AJ?
But Maestro, that AJ win against Klitschko, people will remember that more than the Fury versus Klitschko win, because that was boring, man.
Well, you know why it was boring? It's because Klitschko didn't drop him the way he dropped AJ. That's why it was boring.
I mean,
Corey Lee wants to speak. Joe, I salute to you, fam. I'll reach out to everybody closer to the fight.
All right, man.
But I gotta get on. I'm in Hudson, New York, and I got to get on the things. But I appreciate everybody. Keep it up.
You got it, man.
All right.
All right, Maestro. What's going on, Bees? What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
What's up, brother?
Yo, I hear a lot of talking. I hear a lot of talking from every YouTube channel and from everybody on here, but nobody's talking about the elephant in the room and the dark horse in the division. Alexander Usyk. You remember that name, Joe B. You remember that name, okay? Because he's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's already came. You know what I'm saying? And I really, truly think that,
there's no venue,
you guys...
Corey, there's no venue. There's no venue. Where are they fighting?
I know, but you guys are talking about AJ's win over Povetkin. You guys are talking about AJ this, AJ that. AJ has lost his last fight. How about that? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that big elephant in the room. Fuck what AJ's resume is. You know what I'm saying? He
that
just
John
got beat
Gordon
his last.
Dude is an AJ fan. I don't know what he's
saying. Just got beat. He just got beat his last fight. You know what I mean? By extensively. You know what I mean? Convincingly.
Not only that, he's getting a rematch against a mandatory, which is usually doesn't happen. So
yeah, when you own every belt at cruiserweight and then you move up to the next division, I truly feel like, and your promoter is the same promoter as the guy that you're fighting, which is quote unquote the A side, Anthony Joshua. You know, a lot goes into that. You know, I'm pretty sure Usyk said, look, man, I'm going to beat this guy twice. I don't have no problem with that. You know what I mean? This guy, Usyk, has took the hardest road, I feel like, possible, man. I mean, you know what I mean? And nobody's really giving him credit. You know what I mean? Nobody's really fucking knocking on his door to fight him. You know what I'm saying?
Corey,
I just feel like Usyk needs to get a little bit more credit than what he...
Oh, he froze up.
First, I was gonna ask him if Usyk wins against AJ again. Do you think he can? Do you think he has the toolbox to beat Fury?
I don't think.
I
don't think he can beat Fury.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think Usyk can beat Fury.
Yeah,
you're a Tyson Fury diehard fan.
I'm a smart fan, bro. I'm a smart fan. I mean, styles make fights, bro.
So, Corey, do you think Usyk can win against Fury?
I'm just a smart fan, bro.
I gotta see Usyk. I gotta see somebody try to bully. I gotta see somebody try to put
you pick Joshua to beat Usyk.
So what?
Yeah, I did too. Actually,
you picked David Haye to beat Tony Bellew. Twice.
You picked Murata to beat Triple G.
Okay, I mean, again, we're gonna. What does this mean, bro? Like,
I just feel like you didn't think Usyk was gonna do it anyways, B.
So
you
what?
Had no, you had
and
no
you didn't
bet.
think, and you didn't think Tyson Fury was going to do it either. So what's the difference? I mean,
I picked
again,
Tyson Fury. I picked Tyson Fury in
you're
one
getting
of the wilder
again. You're
fights.
getting emotionally involved in a man that doesn't know you. If he walked by you in the street, he wouldn't look at you twice. I mean, you're
How
too.
you know Usyk don't know me?
He don't know you, bro. I asked him.
You asked him. He follows me on my Instagram. He doesn't know me.
He doesn't know you.
Okay, all right.
He'd say hello to you
Okay.
though, Corey.
You
If
speak-
you say hello to him,
speak,
Corey, I'll say hello back to you.
So if if the Rock follows me on fucking Facebook, that means he knows me.
I mean, I just posted shit and I seen he looks at it. So I mean, I'm just.
He don't know who
saying,
you are, bro. He don't know you.
Huh?
barely
He never
speaks
met
English.
you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He's
It
getting
doesn't
mad.
matter.
He's getting
It doesn't
mad.
matter. It doesn't
See,
matter.
this is sad. This is how old are you, man?
It doesn't matter if he
You
doesn't.
grown man, bro. You shouldn't be
But
acting
it
like this.
doesn't
You
matter
grown.
if he doesn't know.
You a grown
It doesn't
man,
matter
bro.
if he doesn't know.
Dude, you a grown man. You should never ride another man's dick, bro. Never. It's not a good
Who's
look.
riding whose dick? What?
It's not a good look, bro. You should never
All
get.
right,
You
man.
should never
All
get
right,
emotionally involved in something that people don't like.
Your
The person
boy
doesn't care.
Tyson Fury is getting knocked out, man. Your boy
Against
Tyson
who?
Fury
Against
is getting
who?
knocked out.
Against who?
I truly feel like I'm gonna be honest, man. I think Usyk can.
You're
do
not
the
being
job,
honest. You're getting
Oh
emotionally.
no, I'm not
This is
going with
emotion.
Usyk knocking out Fury, bro.
This is emotion, bro. Come on, you know it's emotion. Stop.
Man. I mean, everybody thought I was crazy 3 years ago when I picked Usyk to beat Anthony Joshua, and I got it on my
Okay, and
video.
everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was
Usyk to beat
crazy,
Joshua.
and everyone thought I was crazy.
But I picked Usyk to beat Joshua.
And everyone
3
thought
years
I
ago.
was crazy when I picked Fury to beat Klitschko. So what does that mean? Everyone thought I was crazy when I picked
You
Fury to beat
picked
Wilder.
Tyson Fury to beat everybody. You never picked against Tyson Fury. So
I never have.
What's the surprise there?
I never
What's the
have.
surprise?
I never
I
have.
have against Wilder.
You
the first
picked
time.
Fury in every single fight, Joe. So what's the surprise there?
And I've been
Stop
right.
riding his dick.
I'm not.
Stop riding Fury's dick.
I'm not. I'm not. You can tell me that Usyk is going to beat him. I don't care. I don't get emotionally involved.
I don't. What am I getting emotional? You're talking about you don't know.
You're
him
getting
because he cares anything about you. I didn't say
upset.
anything about
You're
that.
getting upset. You're getting upset. You're raising your voice. Look at your face. Your face all crinkled up.
Man,
it's
I'm
not
chilling,
a good
man.
look.
I just
not a
think
good
you
look.
guys. I just think you guys should talk about Usyk more. You know what I mean? Like why doesn't Usyk?
Well, he's
get
fighting
any-
Well, again,
know
why am
about-
I going to talk about a guy who doesn't even have a fight sign, bro?
Yeah, he's inactive right now.
I mean, he's just coming off of beating, the other big, the other big name out there in the UK, which is Anthony Joshua, with this big super fight with Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua was going to revenue so much money. And I feel like, Usyk came in and fucked that up, and I feel like he's going to do that in the rematch. So I think we should be talking more about Tyson Fury and Usyk. I'm not sucking
Ruiz
anybody's
did
dick.
that last
I'm
time
just-
against.
Why do you want to talk?
I'm not riding
Why
anybody's
do you
dick.
want
All
to
I'm
talk?
saying is calling the facts.
Why do you
I'm
want
calling
to talk?
a fact a fact.
Why do you want to talk about a guy who's not fighting this weekend? Why would you not want to talk about the fight
Because
that's happening?
all I'm hearing.
Listen
all
to
I'm
me.
hearing
Listen to
about
me.
is
Listen to
Anthony
me.
Joshua's
Listen to me.
resume.
Calm down. Get a glass of water. Maybe take a Quaalude. Relax, man. Relax. You get too emotional. Why are you going to talk about a fight
You're a
that's
Tyson
not?
Fury fan, man. That's crazy.
Why are you gonna
Tyson.
talk? Why are you gonna talk about a fight that is not happening instead of talking about a fight that is happening? Does that make sense to you? Yes or no?
What is up?
That's my boy, man.
You're getting mad because we're not talking about Usyk. Why would that bother you? Why would that
I'm
bother
just
you?
saying. Y'all.
Are you
talking
upset
about,
right now? Are you upset right now? Yes or no?
Huh?
Are you upset
How am I
right
gonna
now?
be upset when I'm just talking facts? I'm just saying he beat Anthony.
What is the facts?
He beat Anthony Joshua. Y'all talking about Anthony Joshua and the Povetkin fight and all of that. Like, why don't we talk about Alexander Usyk and his rise?
Because
We're talking about resumes.
the reason why we're not talking about Alexander
Well, let's
Usyk.
talk about let's.
The
talk
reason
about
why
it.
we're not talking about Alexander Usyk is because he doesn't have a fight scheduled.
I understand it.
So you're trying to say that like you're accusing us of disrespecting a fighter. That's because you're emotionally
I'm
attached
not
to a fighter.
accusing anybody of disrespecting anybody. I didn't say anybody was disrespecting anybody.
You're
Stop putting
accusing
words
us
in my
about
mouth.
you're
Yo,
accusing
this
us.
dude Bees is out of control right now, bro. Who's disrespecting who? What are you talking about?
It's a bad
What are
look
you
for you,
talking
bro.
about?
You're
What?
getting emotionally involved in a fighter, bro.
Oh man, I just think that Usyk should get more credibility. That's all. That's all I think. You know
Usyk's
what I
got a
mean?
good resume, man.
That's
Who's
all.
not? Why?
My bad for speaking
Why
my
would it
mind on
bother
your
you?
show. My
Why
bad.
do you
My bad
bother?
for speaking
Why
my
are you
mind
bothered?
on your show.
Why are
B.
you
My bad.
bothered? Why are you bothered that you feel Usyk doesn't get enough credit? Why do you need? Why? People tell me Tyson Fury sucks all the time. That he's a fat fuck. I don't care. Why do other people's opinions affect you? Why do you care what other people think about another man that doesn't know you?
All
Now,
I'm
if that,
saying is, but
but he
listen, all
he
I'm
don't know
saying
you.
is,
Why do you care? Why do you
why do
care
you
what
care?
other
Why do you
people?
care about Tyson Fury? Why
I
are you
don't care
talking
about
about
Tyson Fury. I don't care
You
about
don't?
Tyson Fury. No,
I've seen you argue. I've seen you get in yelling matches with guys
never,
over Tyson Fury.
never happened.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Yes.
I don't defend other men.
Come on,
I don't
man.
defend
All
other
right,
men.
B. All right,
Why?
B. So you
Why?
never had a debate with anybody, a screaming debate with anybody over Tyson Fury? Never in your life.
The only
Never.
time I ever raise my voice is to try to scream over someone who's screaming at me. But at 53 years old, I very rarely do that anymore.
I was gonna ask you, B, what you
I
think
have people
about?
tell me all the time Tyson Fury is here's the thing. You can't defend
All
Tyson.
I was saying was
Again, you
something
cut me
about
off. You
Usyk.
cut me
That's
off,
all.
man. That's you got to be a man. You got to let people talk. You got to be a man. You got to control
ahead.
you got to control it, bro. You got to control it. Boys are impulsive and they blurt things out. Men, they talk like men. I've said this several times, man. Tyson Fury is a hypocrite. He says one thing and does another.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He failed the drug test, walked away from the sport. He was going to get suspended whether or not he walked away or not. I don't defend. I tell people the truth. But when you want to ask me, in my opinion, who is the most talented heavyweight fighter in this division, I have to tell you the truth. It's Tyson Fury.
And I got to tell you the truth. It's Alexander Usyk.
And that's
fine.
fine.
Got to tell you the truth.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who
That's
cares?
your opinion. That's fine.
That's your opinion. Fine.
Hey, B, I was gonna ask what you think about the Cuba lifting the ban on professional boxing.
Great.
You think we're gonna see more Cuban champions in the next
I
10 years?
don't think it's gonna matter either way, because here's the thing. With all due respect to the country of Cuba, they're not a very rich country anyways, so you're not going to really see many pro fights held over there anyways. Most of the Cuban people are going to come over to the United States to fight because they can make more money over here. So that's I'm glad that it's lifted, but from a financial standpoint, it's not going to matter to the Cuban.
Hey, Beeps, I should bring it back though, because boxing was big in Havana.
Cuban boxers
back in the 20s. In fact,
yeah,
Havana was Las Vegas before Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying like we're gonna hold fights over there, because in order to host a fight over there, I was looking at it, and then for somebody to travel to Cuba and fight, it has to be profitable for the Cuban nation. So the tax on that is going to be like extreme. It's going to have a weird airing time if they do even let it be broadcasted. But I was saying in terms of champions, like people coming over winning belts, do you think we're going to have a lot more Cuban champions, especially at those lighter weights?
Yeah. Well, this is a good fight tonight, but I do wish this fight was on regular ESPN, because I think a lot of people are not going to watch this fight because they're not going to buy the pay-per-view. And that's pretty sad, I think. Corey, you going to buy the pay-per-view? This dude's got to get better internet, man.
It's frozen.
He's freezing.
Frozen a little bit.
Constantly freezing up. Dude, you got to get better internet. What's up with your internet, man? I mean,
come on, Beeves, how are y'all doing today? Can I get a how you doing from anybody, man? What the fuck, man? How are y'all doing today? How was y'all Saturday going today? Like, goddamn, bro. I've been coming in here. I've been getting the fucking heat on me just because I'm picking Usyk. God damn.
Hey, Corey, if Usyk is in a press conference, right, and he says this fight's gonna be a banger, right? That means he knows you, dude. That means he's been
Yeah,
watching.
come on, man. Like, yo, Beebs and them Beebs will still say, man, he doesn't know Corey. He doesn't know Corey. He doesn't know Corey. There's no way he knows Corey.
I have 5,000 friends on fucking Facebook right now. Right?
Ooh.
Do you gonna sit there and tell me that each and every one of those people knows who I am personally? If I go to Walgreens, right, and I buy a fucking bottle of fucking acetaminophen, right, and I look at the cash register girl, and she's even a cute honey dip, and I may even smile at her, she may smile back at me, right? I put the debit card, I put the credit card in the slot, and she checks me out, right? Do we actually know each other, or are we just passerbyers?
Acquaintances.
We're
Hey,
not even acquaintances. We just crossed paths. I
Hey,
looked at a
Beeps,
girl. I looked at a girl at the gym the other day, and I was like, I was just oogling her, man, because that's the weakness of the beep. Sometimes he stares. It's bad. It's a bad character flaw. It's a bad character flaw. And she actually smiled back at the beep, right? And the beep smiled back at her. No phone numbers were exchanged. Nothing was
you
done.
didn't get the digits, Beeps? Come on, man.
Come
The Me Too
on,
movement.
man.
The Me Too movement. The Me Too
Beebs
movement.
froze up?
The
Come
Me
on,
no
man.
the Me
Come
Too
on,
the Me Too movement got the
Yo.
beep shook. The Me Too movement got the beep shook. He could get fucking someone could pull out a
Yo.
camera and said someone could pull out a
yeah.
camera and said I assaulted her.
careful.
So the beep has to be strategic in that manner,
That's a good point.
right?
You gotta-
So does that mean I know that girl? No.
Hey, Beebs, you'd be surprised how many people know you though, because I remember when you know Beebs, Richard Dwyer, right? He went to a boxing match once, and everyone recognized him. It's like, hey, Dwyer, blah blah blah. I reckon Beebs, if you go to this Serrano Katie Taylor fight, I think there'll be a lot of people who will recognize you in the crowd.
I was at the
man.
gym one time,
Hey.
and I was at the gym one time, and a guy did come up to me and said, "Yeah, I seen you on YouTube."
Yo.
But I'm not as big as Dwyer. I got to, Dwyer. I like Dwyer.
Yo.
I like Dwyer. I do like Dwyer, but the only thing I don't like about Dwyer is he's got to up his fucking equipment game. Like the dude,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the dude's a lawyer.
He got divorced, bro. So
He's got a pretty good following. He's been on YouTube for a while. I'm sure he makes decent. I'm sure he makes decent money. At least at least buy yourself a decent webcam and a mic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
that's my only knock on Dwyer.
But he got divorced though, bro. So he can't like.
And then he like talks about like going to bars to watch fights and shit. Dude, you're a lawyer.
Yeah, Hooters. Like he goes to
like buy a pay-per-view once in a while, man. You're a fucking lawyer.
Y'all wild, man. Y'all
You're
so wild dudes, man.
You're
I
making.
don't know, man. I do the same
But look,
thing.
can I do my breakdown on the Fury versus Whyte fight? That's why I came, right? That's the whole reason why I came, right, B?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right, if that's cool with you, I don't want to mess you up. I don't want to invade on your space. You know what I mean? Like,
listen. This is what I want to just say.
How you doing today, B?
I want to just say.
How you doing today?
I want to just. I'm doing great, man. I got a nice early, good session, so I'm doing good. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, bro. The internet's forever, man. I'm just trying to protect you. I don't want you to put yourself out there in a bad way.
Yeah, you protecting me. All right,
I'm protecting you, man.
B. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me.
The old heads gotta help out the young heads, man. We gotta guide y'all.
All right, we good. So look, this is my breakdown, man, on the Fury versus a Whyte fight tonight, man. I think Whyte has done some very good things in boxing, man, and I think a lot of fans out there should definitely give him his credit. He definitely came back in the Alexander Povetkin fight when a lot of people wrote him off. He did come back and get that win, which he needed to get that win to get this Fury fight. A lot of people in boxing wanted to see Whyte versus Wilder. They were like, man, Wilder's ducking Whyte, and he's fighting Fury 3 times. Nobody wants to see that fight 3 times and all that. Like, my personal opinion is I would love to see a Whyte versus Wilder. It's a tongue twister. A Whyte versus Wilder, and but we never got to see that, and I don't know if we'll ever see that right now, but especially after what Tyson Fury is going to do to Dillian Whyte tonight. I mean, I just really think that this fight, does a lot for Tyson Fury and his legacy. I think that this is the third best fight on Tyson Fury's resume. You got Deontay Wilder, you got Klitschko, and then you got Whyte, in my personal opinion. You know, so this is the third best win if he beats Dillian Whyte tonight, in my personal opinion. And I just really think that Tyson Fury, right now in his career, if he can get a knockout, man, and he can stop Dillian Whyte emphatically, and he can just do it with no equivocations and nobody, the judges didn't help him, nobody, you know what I mean? It wasn't a close fight or anything like that, or I just really think that this will really do good for his resume. And a lot of people, right now are like, what Tyson Fury are we gonna see? Tyson Fury took a lot of punishment in that Deontay Wilder fight, man. I'm sorry, man. I seen that fight 3 times, man. I just watched all 3 fights last week. You know what I mean? He took a lot of thudding punches, man. A lot of unnecessary punches on being in the inside. Your human brain is not supposed to take these punches. Over a long period of time, it takes ages from your life. You know what I mean? And I really think people should look into this. You think about CTE and football players, nobody even thought about boxing. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. The fuck you think their heads look like? You know what I mean? They're getting hit all day. And I just feel like, Tyson Fury, he's got to pump that jab. I feel like he shouldn't get in a mix-up on the inside like he did with Deontay Wilder. I feel like if he has that same game plan versus Dillian Whyte, I feel like it's going to be bad, because I feel like Dillian Whyte's inside game is better than Deontay Wilder's inside game. Mind you, Deontay Wilder had that long jab. He was pumping that jab out. But what Fury did, what was so beautiful, is he came in and pretty much disrupted his whole outside game. And he made it an inside game. And he made it his fucking fight. Okay? That's what Tyson Fury did. Then that's why Beebs brings me on here to do these fucking awesome breakdowns. You know what I mean? That's why the fuck I'm here. You know what I mean? I don't know why y'all are here, but that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm just saying Tyson Fury is an awesome, stylistically, he matches up well with Dillian Whyte. That's why he's the favorite. You know what I mean? But you guys gotta understand, boxing is boxing, and anything can happen at any given time, man. I'm letting you guys know that, man. Especially when you're Tyson Fury and you don't mind mixing it up. You don't mind taking that chance. You don't mind taking 2 to give 4. You know what I mean? You don't mind doing that. Because that's exactly what he was doing in that third fight against Wilder. He just said, fuck it. I'm going heads up with this dude. There'll be no equivocations. I'm stopping this dude. And I mean, after after the mauling beatdown that Tyson Fury gave Wilder, man, I'm not sure if Wilder will ever be the same. But there's a flip side to that. Who's to say that Tyson Fury will ever be the same? We'll see that tonight. We will see that tonight. We will be able to put all of this to rest tonight. And we'll see what fighter do we still have left after that crazy and up and down roller coaster of a trilogy in Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Okay? We'll finally be able to see what Fury we have tonight, man. And it's going down in just a couple hours, you guys. You guys can watch it.
Hey, Corey, White's taken more punishment than Fury, though, man. White's been in, wars himself. In fact, he got knocked out cold twice.
Yeah, but, in the last Povetkin fight, they say you're only as good as your last fight. He outboxed him. He did his thing. He did well. He did well in spots. He had a different game plan. He didn't take a whole lot of punishment in that second Povetkin fight.
Also,
and he looked good. And he looked good. He looked good. And I think that that'll catapult him to the next level into this fight, Now, I'm not sure. My personal opinion is I don't think that Dillian Whyte can get the job done and in this particular fight. You know what I mean? But like I told Bees before, man, like we talked numerous times off the air, and we just fucking around, y'all. Me and Bees love each other, man. He just gives me he just comes in here and he just wants to fuck shit up sometimes. When I come in here, he wants to, Yo, I'm the little brother, and all that. Okay, I got you, Bees. You got it. But what I'm telling you is, your boy Tyson Fury could get clipped tonight. It's a possibility. It's a possibility, man. It's a possibility, man. I don't think anybody's really talking about that. The power that Dillian Whyte has.
Hey, Corey, how did Dillian Whyte gain 6 or 7 more pounds? Like, shouldn't he be like in the best shape of his career? Like, or is he trying to gain weight like what Wilder was trying to gain weight against Fury, which is the wrong move to do?
It just depends on. I feel like it 100% depends on the game plan that Dillian Whyte and his team had came up with. And I'm really thinking that Dillian Whyte and his team has come up with kind of an inside type of fight, man. For some reason, I think that Dillian Whyte is gonna really try to get in the inside, especially after watching that third Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight, especially after watching that third fight. Dillian Whyte was probably at home licking his fucking chops, dude. Get this fight made now, you know? But you know, you don't know the fighter. You don't know how you don't know how excited and how motivated a fighter is from watching another fight. And I feel like Dillian Whyte seen something in that trilogy, man, because he wasn't really in a rush to fight Tyson Fury before this, you know. And I just think it was all about, you know, Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder. And now that, you know, Wilder's not in the picture and he doesn't have a belt, he's still in the picture. But now that Wilder doesn't have a belt anymore, all the focus is on Tyson Fury. You know, that green belt has a lot of value in the heavyweight division, man. I know we talk about belts a lot, Beebs, and I know Penny, you know, we talk about belts a lot here on the show. But the WBC, man, speaks volumes. Tyson Fury only has one fucking belt. And I feel like a lot of people are talking about Tyson Fury right now way more than they're talking about Usyk. You know, he's got 3-4 belts, but I just think that WBC that lineage from that WBC belt, man, and you know Muhammad Ali having it, Mike Tyson having it. I think that the WBC still has weight in the game of boxing, and I think a lot of fans respect the WBC belt. That's the belt that Tyson Fury has, and that's the belt that Dillian Whyte has been searching for 5 fucking years, bro. He's had the WBC interim belt, but that's not the real belt, man. That's not the real belt, you know? And I feel like he's gotten so close to being a world title. Can Dillian Whyte get it done tonight, man? Can Dillian Whyte finally become a world champion? Something he's wanted for his whole life. You know? Can he be a world champion tonight, man? And I'm sorry, Dillian Whyte. Somebody's got to break the news to you. You will not become a world champion tonight. You know? You will not become a world champion tonight. You know? Tyson Fury, I truly believe, will stop Dillian Whyte tonight. You know? I think Tyson Fury will stop Dillian Whyte in the 8th round. I'm picking an 8th round knockout. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm gonna change that. 10th round knockout, because I feel like Tyson Fury gets better with the rounds. You know, the rounds, I feel like once he gets in his rhythm and once he starts pumping that jab out, and you know, but you never know. Tyson Fury could have that Marlon, you know, game plan where he wants to mix it up. You know, he wants to lick the blood off Dillian Whyte. You know, he wants to do all of these wild things again. So I'm just saying, man, I'm picking 10th round stoppage, ice season for Tyson Fury, man. I think he's gonna get him out of there in 12.
So no one's picking Whyte
inside 12.
except for Brian, the TBH 209. The boxing.
Who you picking, Penny?
I'm picking Fury, man, by brutal KO. In fact, like it will be brutal, man. It will be like
one round.
6 maybe.
Because, you know, that's what we do over here on Champ Ross's Prediction League, a league that Beebs hasn't entered yet. You know, he says a lot about my picks, but he hasn't entered the league yet. So, hey, look, man, I'm waiting on you, Beebs. I'm waiting on you, bro. The first week was last week.
They froze me out of that league, man. They don't want me in there. Nothing I can do about it, man.
Hey, Beebs, Uri, one of your subscribers, he says that speed beats Fury, not size. So that could be true.
That's true. That's why I'm picking Usyk to beat. That's why I'm picking Usyk to beat Fury when they fight. You know, depending on hold on. It all depends on. I'm not saying this. I'm saying this the first time here, B. But with everything going on with Usyk, man, you know, I don't want to switch it up. I just want to say this one thing. With everything going on with Usyk over there in the war and everything, jokes aside, I don't know. We don't know what Usyk we're gonna get back, man. You don't know what he's seen out there. You don't know if he's ever seen that type of stuff before. You know, they're talking about bodies over there in Ukraine. So I just feel like right now, you know, in the heavyweight division, there is still another champion out there. You got Wilder that lost to Fury, so Fury has the belt now, okay. But then you have to unify these belts. You got to go through either Anthony Joshua or Alexander Usyk in a rematch. I'm picking Usyk in a rematch, but I don't know what type of Usyk we're gonna get. You see what I'm saying? This could be prime time, man. This could be prime time for Joshua to come in and steal those belts.
Did you hear the rumor? I guess they're saying, I don't believe this rumor, but this is what was being put out there. Someone said that Usyk's wife said he lost 20 pounds while he was down there.
God damn. Bro.
I don't think that's true though. I don't think he lost 20 pounds.
But how do you know though, Bees? I mean, you never know. He got family members out there, bro. He got family members.
I don't know.
He got aunts and uncles in Ukraine right now.
I don't know, but I just find it hard to believe that he lost 20 pounds in like 2 weeks, like they're saying. That's a lot of weight, bro.
Well, you gotta understand. You gotta understand. I don't mean to cut you off, Penny, but you gotta understand. Usyk, and this is coming from a Usyk fan. I'm a Usyk fan. Biebs is a Fury fan. We already knew this. Me and Bieb have been knowing this for 3 years now. Or 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? However long, I've been liking Usyk for over 5 years. So I'm just saying, like, you don't know with a fighter like that. And him coming up from cruiserweight and adding that 20 pounds of muscle on there, he was on a different regimen. He was on a different eating regimen to get that weight up for that first Joshua fight. So him losing 20 pounds, I'm going to be honest, Bees, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm going to be honest, man.
A lot of weight, though. 20 pounds, bro?
Yeah.
Not in 2 weeks, but I'm just saying he was over there longer than 2 weeks.
I could probably see him losing maybe 10 pounds since he's been away. But
Dude,
I don't
have no idea.
I have zero idea, but I just think it's a lot. 20 pounds is a lot of weight.
Yeah, how can Usyk lose that many pounds when he's eating American rations? Like, man, you can't lose weight on eating Spam and all that, because you know those are American rations, man. I don't know about that, man.
I got to be honest with you, though, man. When I got COVID, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but I got COVID, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like 205 when I first got COVID. I got down to like 187 in like less than around 10 days. So,
damn,
so if the Beeb can lose 18 pounds in a short period of time like that, then maybe Usyk. I lost like 18 pounds, bro.
For real? Beebs?
Yeah.
What?
It was crazy. You know what happened to me, bro? I'll tell you the two biggest side effects that I got from COVID. Number one was my appetite was shit. I was actually forcing myself to eat.
Yeah.
I put myself on a schedule, and I tried to eat an orange every day just to get the vitamin C in for the immune system. And I tried to eat some spinach, and I this was my regimen when I was on COVID. I was eating like chicken, rice, and spinach, or chicken pasta and spinach. And I was eating like a peanut butter and a jelly sandwich, right? Then at night I would have something else, like maybe a protein pancake or something like that. I was trying to eat two meals. My calories was down to like shit. I was probably eating like some days I was eating like 1,800 calories a day. I was eating like the amount of calories that a fucking 110-pound woman would eat, right? And this was coming. This was coming from like eating 2,800 to 3,000 calories a day. Think about it. You're eating 1,000 less calories a day almost, right? That's a severe calorie deficit. But I was forcing myself to eat, and it was hard, man.
Damn, B. So hard. B. So I mean, like, you know, with that being said, how do you feel now? How does the B feel now?
Well, if the beef can lose 18 pounds in 10 days, maybe. But I was sick. He wasn't sick, and I was laying in a bed. He was moving around. But you know,
But you don't know, but Beebs, you don't know mentally, man. You don't know, man. You don't know, man. You don't know what he's
Hey,
seeing out there,
hey,
man.
hey, Corey,
You seeing your family member. Hold on, Penny. You
yeah.
seeing your family member get blasted away, bro. That could do something to affect you.
you know what I
You know what I
like
mean?
though. There's one great thing about being like losing a lot of weight and being like when one thing I can say when I'm in the 80s, like my blood sugar's like really good, my fucking blood pressure go like
Yeah.
all your vitals go like really down. But like I said on the show, man, Beeps can't rock like he can like at 205 when he's 187. He just can't rock like that. Can't rock like that, you know. Then when he goes back
Oh
to
man,
then
yo,
when he
this
goes
dude.
back to the gym, the dumbbells feel a little bit heavier, the
Yeah.
barbells feel a little bit heavier. Then when he's walking in the street, doesn't have that confidence. He feels like maybe like people in like 11th grade can knock him around like when he's at 187. When he's at 205 and he's walking, he kind of splits the Red Sea when he walks down the street. At 187, he's not a threat.
Oh, Beeps, do you go to a unisex gym, or do you go
Planet
to
Fitness, baby, so I can see all the honey dips.
Yo! Yo!
latex? Those
I
latex.
gotta. Here's the thing, man. I got a black card, so I can go to any gym in the country. So sometimes I can see all different varieties of honey dips when I go to these different gyms.
Hey, the
You got a
females.
black card? What is a black card?
Black card allows you to go to any Planet Fitness in the United States.
I mean, I got a Gold's Gym Gold membership. What does that do?
I don't know, man. That's above my pay. That's above my pay grade, bro. That's above my pay grade,
This
man.
guy Bees, man, with the black membership, man. What the fuck, man?
Black card, man. The black card.
The
Secret
black
entrance.
card membership. Wow,
That's
man.
like in Rounders where there's a secret entrance where there's a casino where there's not supposed to be a casino. I think that's what the black card does.
There's other people in the chat saying that they lost 15 pounds on COVID too.
COVID.
You're not the
else?
only one.
Here's the other thing that fucked me up with COVID. My heart rate. Normally, I have one of those things, those oximeters where you can check your heart rate and your oxygen levels. I bought one of those.
Yeah.
And my heart rate's usually like 68 beats a minute, 70 beats a minute when I wake up. When I go to bed, it can even go down to like 58. When I had COVID, my heart rate was like 80, 85-ish. Sometimes hitting 90, which is still okay as long as you don't go above 100. You're not in danger. But it gave me anxiety because my heart was like racing and shit, and I was like, yeah.
That, and I'm not gonna lie, though, Bees. I'm glad you brought that up, man. I was like, I don't know if I had COVID at that time, but I remember when I was watching I had my Apple Watch and I watched my heart rate, man. I just couldn't watch that shit no more. That shit was going up and down at work and shit, and I'm just like, bro, this shit is nerve wracking, bro. I don't even want to see my shit's like I'm working hard. My shit's
What's your normal heart rate? You probably walk around at fucking 90, the way you are, man.
At 90. I don't know. You want to see it now? What do you mean?
Yeah, do your heart rate. Let me test your heart rate right now.
My heart rate. Let's go to Corey Lee's heart rate.
I'm gonna guess your heart rate's at about 80 right now.
80?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, Beam's wild, yo. It said it was at 60 BPM 4 minutes ago. So
60?
Right now it's at 90, bro.
Oh, that's high.
I told you, man, because when 87, what did the beep say? He said 85. He almost had it. Because I know you, man. You're high strung, dude. You gotta relax.
Yeah.
You gotta relax, man.
What's yours at though, Beebs?
Let me go get. Stay right there. I gotta get the oxo. I'll get it and I'll do it right now. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, Beebs gonna check his on the eye, yo. But Chad Penny, so how you feel about the fight, man?
Yeah, man. I think Fury by brutal knockout, man. I don't think. First of all, I think that 6 pound extra that he gained, I think he's not. I don't think he was training that well, to be honest with you. I think he knows he's gonna get beaten soundly. I think Fury's gonna win convincingly by brutal knockout to me. Kind of like when Conor Ben knocked out, Algeria, kind of like that.
For real?
Yeah. Hey, Corey, I just want to say, like, about mental state about in the war. I remember when Tony Kukoc was in when they were playing Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And there were the Balkan Wars at that time. When Croatia and Serbia
Mm-hmm.
were fighting, and a
Serbia.
lot of the guys that he knew in Croatia, they told him not to speak to Vlade Divac, right? It's gone down now because Vlade was Serbian, and there were a lot of things going on, like the neighbors were starting to kill each other, blah blah blah, and they were friends beforehand.
The Beeb is at 65 beats, and his oxygen level is like 97 right now.
Beebs, look.
Look at this. Now it's down. Now it's down. It's like 65 right now. And this is what 200 milligrams of caffeine in my system. 64.
See, I ain't had no caffeine.
Look
I
at
ain't
this.
had no caffeine yet.
Caffeine raises it, but look at this. I'm down to 64 beats a minute, 65. I'm in prime condition.
You know what, Beebs? You know what, Beebs? I'm so glad you brought this point up with your heart rate, bro. We're fucking doing, when I go live with you again, bro, on a fight, bro, we're gonna do that shit again. I wanna know your heartbeat in round number 6 of the Fury Whyte fight. I wanna know what I know your shit gonna be like over 100, bro. I can't wait to see this shit. You gotta show us tonight, man. You gotta show us your heartbeat in the middle of the fight, man. I bet you that shit gonna be high.
Look at the Beeb. Look at the Beeb right now. He's down. He's down like he was down in the 50s. Look at the oxygen level at 98. Look at the 99 oxygen level. Look at that. 61
See, I gotta
beats.
get something like that oxygen level.
61 beats per minute, man. I mean, this is the great condition that the Beeb is in right now, man. Like, he's got caffeine in his system, 200 milligrams at 53 years old. Normally that would put people's heart rate through the roof. But look at this. What's starting to bother me now, though? My arthritis is starting to get worse, man. That's what I hate.
Oh man.
Hey Corey, there's a question here for you. How often do people with dreads undo them and wash their hair properly?
I would say I wash my hair once a week, but when I go to the stylist, I go probably like every month or every 2 months.
So when you go in the shower, you got to wear like a cap because you can't get them wet.
Yeah, you can't get them wet, yo. Yeah.
How does that affect your scalp? Does your scalp get dry? Do you get like?
I mean, we're pretty dry right now because we got to get it done again. You know what I'm saying? But Corey Lee's still hanging in there with the dreads. I actually cut my dreads a little bit shorter. If you guys, fun fact, I cut some of my dreads probably I said a couple of days ago. So they were getting long, and at work, while I work at you guys, fun fact, you can't have your hair down like past shoulder length, and I don't want long locks anyway. So I just keep cutting mine. My hair should be way past this by now, you guys. I know you guys are probably like, Corey Lee's had the same size dreads for like 2 years now. Like, nah, I've been cutting them, y'all. I've been cutting them. So I haven't been cutting.
Was David Diamante your inspiration for that hairstyle? The announcer.
No, actually, my inspiration is Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, man. I'm just fucking with you, man. I don't know.
Look at this now. Down into the 50s, man. 57 for a little while there too, man.
Okay, B. Keep B's over there healthy. Okay.
You know what this is from though? This is from the walking. When you do a lot of walking, it lowers your heart rate, man.
You said a lot of walking?
A lot of walking.
So what? Look, man. Listen, man. I want to know, man. Is anybody picking? Nobody's picking any type of form of upset this weekend.
There's no upset this weekend, bro. Come on.
What about Tony Fury?
Yo, listen. And I'm telling this with the bottom of my heart, man. You know what I mean? With my heart rate at 60. I'm telling this from the bottom of my heart, man. Beebs, if Tyson Fury gets knocked out and stopped,
Usyk becomes the best heavyweight in the world.
Well, it has to be.
Wow, that's the first time I heard B give
AJ, bro.
Usyk, that type of credit, man.
That
Wow.
puts Usyk
Wow.
that puts Usyk above Fury, man.
Wow. Beebs is really saying this. Wow.
Puts,
Okay.
it puts him above Fury.
So you don't see that happening tonight.
Well,
What's your breakdown, Beebs? Because I haven't heard you yet.
Oh, I did a video on this earlier, and I love
a brief one, like who you got winning in what round.
I love saying this statement that Andre Ward said a long time ago. And this was when he was in the Super 6, and he was talking about Carl Froch. He goes, a lot of fighters can fight on the inside offensively, but a lot of fighters can't defend on the inside, right?
Oh, hold on. Can you hear my mic? It says box screen. It says fix your mic, Corey.
No, I can hear
I'm
you.
good.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. So, let me repeat what I said. He said a lot of fighters can fight offensively on the inside, but they can't defend on the inside. Yeah. If you go back and you look at Dillian Whyte in his most vulnerable moments, when he was on the inside against Anthony Joshua, what did he get hit with? A 45-degree uppercut, right?
Yep.
What did he get? And he got knocked out and hurt by that punch. Same thing with Povetkin, right? Got hit with that short punch on the inside, took him out. Problem with Dillian Whyte on the inside is he does square up an awful lot on the inside. Instead of giving a side profile when you're in the inside, keeping that chin protected, he gives it to you. See? He gives it to you. And each time he gave it to Whyte, when Whyte gave it to Povetkin and he gave it to Joshua, same punch. Boom, right? Boom, very vulnerable to the uppercut, right? And they know this too. They know this Team Fury because they sparred with him before, right? Beautiful thing about Tyson Fury when he's on the inside is a lot of times he'll grab you with one arm, wrap you up, and hit you with the free hand. Sometimes he'll grab you, put his weight on you, right? And then he'll release you, and after he releases you, he'll punch off the clinch. He'll grab you, wrestle with you, walk you back, lean on you, put his body on you, and pull down on you. And once again, lets you up, and after he lets you up, he's punching you. So all the while, you're being worn out by the weight being put on you. And then once the weight's taken off you, you have to reposition yourself as the fighter to get back in an offensive posture. And while you're trying to do that, he's already punching you. So that's what makes Tyson Fury. If you look in the Steve Cunningham fight, when he would grab Steve Cunningham, he would put his forearm and do the Floyd Mayweather thing to his neck. And he had that one hand free where he was hitting Steve Cunningham, right? This is the problem Dillian Whyte's going to have because everyone's sitting there talking about the inside game of Dillian Whyte, But can he defend on the inside? No, right? Tyson Fury, I think, is going to disrupt him on the inside with that physicality and that size. Another thing, too, is everyone's talking about this left hook. And I mentioned, I've never seen Tyson Fury really hurt with left hooks or stumbled, wobbled, or knocked down by left hooks. All the punches in his career, of the 6 times that he's been knocked down in his career, they've all been by right hands.
Right hand, yeah.
They've all been by right hands, right? Never seen him hurt, knocked down, stagger by a left hook. And once again, left hook is a punch where it comes up from 45-degree angle and it comes over the top in a parallel fashion. When you start reaching up with a left hook, a lot of that leverage from your hip and from your feet and from your lower body gets removed from that punch. There's less of those areas and it becomes more of an arm punch. Whereas an overhand right, you can come over the top with it, almost like with a baseball pitcher, as I mentioned before, and generate that power, right? Tyson Fury's been doing a lot of sparring and a lot of training in the southpaw stance. Why? Because once again, when you're in a southpaw stance, the least effective punch, in my opinion, is the left hook against the southpaw. That's why people throw right hands against southpaws because it's the best punch to land. It's called the southpaw killer for a reason. So I think Tyson Fury has been training to take that left hook away, take Dillian Whyte's best weapon away from him, which is that left hook, right? And I think him coming in 6 pounds heavier is not going to help him, Dillian Whyte. And also, Dillian Whyte does fade late in fights. Tyson Fury has shown
Yep.
to have a great gas
Yep.
tank, even when he hasn't been at
Yep.
his best. Even when Tyson Fury hasn't been at his best,
Yep.
he's still been able to recover from damage in fights, and he's still been able to come on strong and fight with the same aggressiveness and the same effectiveness later in the fight as he did early in the fight, where Dillian Whyte has not shown that ability. So I just see Tyson Fury doing a lot of different things, showing Dillian Whyte a lot of different looks in this fight, being physical at points, but also being strategic and using some movement as well as being physical, and having all these things thrown at him and not being able to time and prepare for what's being thrown at him, and having to deal with constant changing of tactics from Tyson Fury. I just think it's going to befuddle Dillian Whyte, and I think as the fight wears on, I see Tyson Fury wearing Dillian Whyte down, and stop him in 9 rounds. If you bet Tyson Fury with the stoppage here, you're getting a minus 155, which isn't bad. Put 155 up to get 100 back. But if you bet Tyson Fury to stop him in between 7, 8, and 9, which I think is the best bet, you get a plus 300. So I think Tyson Fury is going to stop Dillian Whyte in 9 rounds.
So you're picking ninth round stoppage.
Again, Wallen did not hit him with a left hook because southpaws don't throw left hooks; they throw looping left hands. And once again, didn't knock him down, stagger, or hurt him with the left hook. He cut his eye. We injured him by cutting his eye when he laced him with the glove, but he did not hurt him where he was staggered, wobbled, or at any point in that fight was in danger of going down. Again, we have to keep things in context. Steve Cunningham hurt Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder hurt Tyson Fury. The other guy there in 2011, I keep forgetting his name, he hurt Tyson Fury. But Otto Wallen did not hurt Tyson Fury. He injured him. He cut him. So it's a different story. And once again, orthodox fighters throw left hooks, not right hooks. And southpaws throw right hooks, not left hooks. So again, he's never been hurt by a left hook. A hook is a punch delivered from the lead hand and torque and used and leverage is generated by the front foot. Any punch thrown from the backhand is a variation of a looping, a overhand, or whatever. This is not a right hook. This is called a looping right hand. It's not a right hook.
But by the way, the undercard for this fight is bad, man. Like, I don't even know who's on the undercard, with the exception to Tommy Fury.
And this is the worst undercard I've ever seen. It's a horrible undercard.
Bad.
So it's a horrible undercard.
I think it's because Fury got all of the money, right? Because he's guaranteed, isn't it like 30 million?
Well, again, usually when you have big main events like this tends to happen. And yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Hey Corey, you're on mute, bro.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Yeah, I was letting B rip that joint, man. B was doing his thing on that joint, man. He always do his good breakdowns when it comes to Tyson Fury, man. He got a really good he does good breakdowns anyways, but I like to hear about his boy, man. You know what I mean? He studies Tyson Fury. He knows, the ins and the outs of Tyson Fury, and I respect what
here at
B
Beeb
says
Industries,
about Tyson Fury.
Here at Beeb Industries, we have an extensive
Catalog.
We have an extensive library of fights that we can always revert to. So,
Yeah, Maestro is back.
his Maestro's back, yeah. Yeah, I like I said, my trainers always said when they called for a left hook, or they've never, I've never been asked to throw a right hook unless I was in a southpaw stance. this terminology that it's that a looping. If you're throwing a punch from your backhand, right, and you're throwing it like that, if you're throwing it like that, you're looping it. You're not throwing a hook. You're putting your front foot, digging it into the canvas. You're twisting your hip, your front hip,
Like
and
Cotto,
yeah,
Miguel Cotto.
you can't. It's not the same thing from the backhand. Now people will call that a right hook. I don't. I think it's. I think that it's an inaccurate description.
By the way, anyone in the chat, if you want to see a perfect left hook moving backwards, watch on YouTube Ray Robinson versus Bubba Olsen. Oh my God, that was a perfect left hook from a back foot, moving backwards, not like a check hook like what Mayweather keeps on saying, like an actual left hook. A Sugar Ray Robinson versus Bubba Olsen. It's really good, and he knocked him out too, cold down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I think that this fight is big, man. This fight is big for the heavyweight division.
But Corey, I wish they
Obvious-
did a bit on the undercard though. Come on, man. Damn.
I know the undercard.
But,
I'm gonna be honest. Let me just say this about the undercard. I'm so glad you brought that up. The fucking undercard for I was ready to say Terrence Crawford versus Earl Smith. That better be good though. That undercard better be good. But for last week, the Usyk versus Spence fight, you know, for that undercard, bro, I just want to send a special shout out, man, to PBC. I think that the undercard was pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, man. You had Brandon Lee in the opener. There was no fans in the stands, and you got Brandon Lee fighting. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what?
Well-
like he headlined Showbox before. So it's just like I'm just thinking, and then not only that, you had like it was a double header type situation because I seen how Showtime did that, Beebs. I haven't seen that a lot from Showtime, but pretty much what they did was they pretty much had the Showbox cast at that fight, and they did the whole. I feel like the whole front show,
Yeah,
first show was Showbox.
the
So they had
televised
Steve Farhood there and everything.
the
Let me
televised-
get my point across. Go ahead, man.
the televised portion of that card was great, but some of those cards, like that Staniotis fight, was better than the Cruz Gamboa fight.
Oh yeah, man, that Stanionis fight. And a lot of people was telling me they wanted to watch that Stanionis fight, and they did not know that had came on before the pay-per-view televised fights. So that's why I was, you know, a lot of fans were confused. They were like, man, I came to watch that fight, you know, or I did this or I did that. And I'm like, wow, you know, PBC and Showtime, whatever, they didn't even, I feel like they didn't promote, you know, I feel like the promotion could have been better on fans knowing when to catch the fights and all of that stuff. And I mean, you literally had, it wasn't even halfway packed when Stanionis and them fight. It was like a quarter packed. And that was a major fight. One of them guys could be fighting Earl Spence right now. That's how big that fight was. Stanionis took step aside money from you guys, excuse me. He was supposed to be in there when you guys fought. He took step aside money. And there's a quarter of the fans there watching him in his toughest fight, fighting Butev, which Butev almost knocked his fucking head off in the first 4 rounds. That was an awesome fight. Barn burner.
Hey Corey, speaking of undercards, I hear Isaac Cruz might be fighting Ryan Garcia next at 135. Man, that's a pretty good fight.
If Ryan Garcia fights Isaac Cruz, that's wrong for him. I'm just saying that's all wrong for him. I'm not
bad fight. I think Isaac Cruz beats Ryan Garcia.
Go! Whoa, B's got it out before I could get it out. I couldn't
I've got Ryan Garcia.
Out. He got it
I've got Ryan Garcia. I believe in the kid. I think he can outbox him.
Yeah, I don't believe in Garcia.
You don't believe in
Yo!
You don't believe in
I don't believe in him, bro.
Yo!
Is it because of his good looks, Beebs, or you just don't like his talent?
Yeah, like what's up, man? You don't believe in his work ethic? I mean,
I don't like his work ethic. I think he's inconsistent. I I think he looked. I think it was a bad move to leave Reynoso.
Yeah.
And I want to cut him a little bit of slack, but I think he reverted back to his old ways against what was this guy's name that he just fought? Whatever the guy, I forget the guy's name that he just fought. Unfortunately,
From Ghana.
yeah, but yeah, I just wasn't impressed with that performance. Even though he won every round, I just felt like he looked over anxious, looked a little sloppy. I just wasn't impressed, man.
I like his speed, man. I like his speed. I like his power. I like his length. And at 135, he's actually really big. Because he's still young.
Yeah.
He can probably go up to 154 once he's done. I don't know, man. I think with Cruz, I don't know. To me, Cruz seems like just one-dimensional, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Tank underestimated him a little bit. I don't know. I'm not fully sold on Isaac Cruz yet. I think Duran Garcia's got a lot in the tool. Got too much in the toolbox for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, my personal opinion about King Rye, aka Ryan Garcia, I just think that he's Golden Boy knows what they have. They have a ticket seller. He can put asses in seats. Whether he's a world titleist or not, he makes Golden Boy money. Which right now, Golden Boy, I don't know if you guys been watching Golden Boy lately. They haven't been really making a whole lot of money. I'm just being honest with you. I'm calling a spade here at Beebs Industries. So I'm just saying.
They made money in Tijuana, though, Corey.
Huh?
They made money in Tijuana, though.
That's pennies compared. That's pennies compared to Canelo fight they lost. That's pennies. That's pennies compared to Canelo. They had Canelo. They had the breadwinner of boxing, and Oscar De La Hoya, per Oscar De La Hoya, finds a way to fuck up everything. You know what I mean? That's just the way he is. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, and mind you, when Ryan Garcia was with Canelo, remember he had spats with Golden Boy, and pretty much it got to a point where I heard he told Golden Boy, I'm not fighting. This was before this fight. Okay? And I'm just saying, you're already having problems with Golden Boy. And I feel like Golden Boy has been matching this guy pretty good compared to what he's been wanting. I mean, this dude, Ryan Garcia, is calling out Tank Davis. I'm sorry. No disrespect. Ryan Garcia will get annihilated by Gervonta Tank Davis, in my personal opinion. You're calling out guys. You're calling out guys. Ryan Garcia, no offense. You're calling out guys that you're not even ready for.
Hey, Corey, Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney in the amateurs. I know that's the amateurs, and he beat him as well.
And also Devin Haney beat Ryan Garcia like 5 times in amateurs. So
with all due respect, I hate these amateur comparisons, and I'll tell you why.
They come out of nowhere. That's the same thing they said about Terrence Crawford and Danny Garcia. Yeah, Danny Garcia beat Terrence Crawford, but still.
They're only 3-round fights, bro.
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
And they're objective. You got to understand what judge is calling the fight. Is it a Philly judge? Is the amateur tournament in Philly? Is the amateur tournament in Nebraska? Is the amateur tournament in California where King Rye is from? You know what I'm saying? You guys got to take all of this into consideration. And I feel like that's another reason why Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia got so much baggage, because these guys are in that California area. I believe Devin Haney's from Oakland, California. And you guys got to understand, Ryan Garcia is from California too. And you guys got to understand, these two guys, I'm not taking anything away from Ryan Garcia. He is a pretty good fighter. But there's levels to this. People are not even knowing if he's ready for a world title. And some guys are talking about he can beat Gervonta Tank Davis. That shit just doesn't match. That doesn't match. In Corey Lee's boxing world, that doesn't match, man. You're not ready for a world title, but you can beat Gervonta Davis? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here, dude. That doesn't even make sense. We're talking about right now, is Ryan Garcia even ready for a world title? But you got some fans out here that think he can beat Gervonta Tank Davis and Devin Haney. And I just think that that's a little far fetched, man. I think that that's reaching a little bit. I think you're reaching as far as Tyson Fury's jab. You're reaching. I mean, you're fucking reaching, bro. You
Hey,
know, and it's
Corey.
just like,
Hey Corey, you know Max Kellerman's got this criteria when he sees someone who's special, right? They're either twitchy meaning like twitchy like that super like Floyd where he's twitchy, you know what I mean? Where you can't
Fast
see-
twitchy, he calls
yeah,
it.
fast. And the other one is speed, right? Speed, which is like a Manny Pacquiao speed, like like 8-10 punch combination, God knows how many. Ryan Garcia is a little twitchy to me. Like, he's got that. He's got
Yup.
that factor.
You know who beat Usyk in the amateurs?
Sean Porter.
Sean Porter.
I
Archer
mean,
better.
it's crazy, Beebs, that I already know who you're talking about. That's crazy. That's
Archer-
crazy, though.
Archer
Your
better
normal
be.
fan, he beat him
Archer
already.
better
He knocked
beef beat
down.
him too. Archer better
He
beef
knocked
beat him
Usyk down, actually, too. And I told you, I've been telling you, I made a video about 2-3 years ago. I said Archer Beterbiev is the most duck fighter in the world of boxing. And here's why. This is my analogy. Archer
How?
Beterbiev, about 2 years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, when he first won that belt, I believe it was the IBF strap. When he first won that belt, this is what the IBF did for Archer Beterbiev, okay? They had no man. Marcus Brownie was one of them, okay? Yeah, he just got his ass beat. But he was one of them in this before he fought. You know what I mean? This is about 2-3 years ago. You can go check it up. This is facts. This is real shit. They had a list of the top 10 contenders and the top 10 rankings for the IBF, okay, about 3 years ago. And Archer Beterbiev was number 1 or number 2, okay? And then they had to go through the list of all the 10 fighters did not want to fight Archer Beterbiev for that vacant title, okay? They had to reshuffle, okay, the rankings, okay, and they had to, and they found a guy named Cooling or whatever. Go look it up. He wound up fighting Archer Beterbiev, but Marcus Brownie said no. I believe Badu Jack said no. There was a couple other key fighters that had the opportunity to fight Archer Beterbiev for that vacant title, and he didn't. And that's why I say Archer Beterbiev is a dark horse against Canelo. I've always said that. If Archer Beterbiev can fight Canelo in the next year, not 2, not 3, but right after this fight against, Joe Smith Jr., I think Archer Beterbiev will beat him. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think he'll beat him. Shout out to Joe Smith Jr. for all hard-working boxers out there. It can happen. You can work a regular job and be a world champion, man. It can happen. It's very rare. But it can happen. Joe Smith Jr. showed you guys that he could do that. You know what I mean?
Can you do it, Corey? Can you do it? Can you do it?
I mean, I don't know, man. I might be able to get in there, man. I don't know, man. I might. I don't know. I might be able to get in there, man. But right now.
Do what? What's his name does? Do what Showbiz the adult does. He quit his job and did just YouTube, man.
I mean, I feel him. I feel him on that, but right now I got a job, I got some things going on, and it's like, Beeves knows what I got going on, but it's like, but it's just, I'm blessed right now. Blessed right now, and I just
Corey Lee gets free consultation from Beeb Industries. We know everything that's going on. We took him under. We made an investment in Corey Lee, man.
Yeah.
Is that like Corey? Is it like Goodfellas type of work, or is this legit?
He's got a legit job.
No, he's got a legit job. It's legit. Yeah,
he's got a legit job,
man. It's legit job.
He's a hard worker, man. He's a hard worker.
Yeah, thank you, Beef. But yeah, like I just, like I said, some of your personal life got to be kept off the wraps. You know what I mean?
Have to be off the wraps. We've signed a non-disclosure with him. We will never put his business out there.
Yeah, this dude Beeves knows about my whole fucking family, bro.
Yeah, we know a lot about each other. Well, he doesn't know everything about the Beebs because the Beebs is kind of he's a mystery, but
all I know is Beebs has the honey dips. I know that for a fact. And he says,
Hey, Hey, Bibbs, in Germany, man, were you killing it with the honey dips, as you were saying, or were you behaving well as an
Beeb,
American?
when the Beebs was in Germany, it was like visiting an ice cream parlor. He was tasting all the he was tasting all the flavors. He was tasting all the flavors.
Oh man, beef, damn.
He was tasting all the flavors, man.
Because those German girls, man, they're
What's the best time? Let me ask you this, Bees, out of all the places you've been to in your whole life, and this goes for you too, Penny. And what is Ruger still in the chat? My bad, Ruger. We got to get you back on here, man.
Yeah. You know, maybe he's been talking all this time.
This goes for all of y'all that's on the show right now. What is the best place that y'all have visited in the whole world?
My favorite place in the whole world, to be very honest with you, is Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas.
Yo, what the fuck? You can pick any place you want in the whole world, bro.
In what context?
Pick Sin City. What the fuck?
I like Sin City too. But to me, I think from a tourist point of view, where there's a lot of entertainment, no one can beat New York, man.
I don't like New York.
New York's got like.
I'm not a big fan of New York.
That's because I'm not American. But as a non-American, right? There's just so many things to do in New York. No one can beat it. There's so much entertainment. Like every day, there's something to do. Every single block, it's like a different culture. And the other one too is Paris. I love Paris, man. Like, oh my God, like. Paris is so beautiful, man. It's like the most beautiful city I have ever.
I love it. I love it over here, but I fucking can't stand the winter. I fucking hate the winter.
Yeah. The other one that's good too is that not many people that gets underrated is Istanbul. Istanbul is really good too, man. Like it's so like when you go in there and see the Hagia Sophia, that church was built in the freaking 6th century. Like and if you're looking if you compare it to like St. Peter's Basilica, which is the biggest church in the world, St. Peter's Basilica was built in the 16th century, so it's like 1,000 years older. That's how beautiful Istanbul is.
I got some friends from New York that I like a lot, and I've been there and visited and stuff, but after like a couple of days, I just want to come home, man.
Really?
Like, fucking people are so fucking. The people are so rude out there, man.
Yeah. But no, Bees, you can't listen. I'm being honest. You have no fucking room to talk, bro. You're in fucking Boston, and my family's from Boston. They are not that much better, bro. Like you think Boston and New Yorkers are they're angels? Like, come on, bro.
That's why I like in Vegas.
You're a fucking Bostoner talking about New Yorkers are mean.
They're
like,
worse than us. They're worse than us.
What?
They're worse than us.
I walk down Dorchester Ave, a motherfucker. You better not say nothing to nobody. You better not say nothing to nobody.
Listen to the example he uses.
You better not say nothing. You better not say how you doing, where you from. None of that shit. Don't.
Oh, you're gonna get stuck. You get stuck. You get stuck if you do that. Yeah.
But Beeps, I agree with you. Beeps, I agree with you.
And that's where my family's from in Boston. So it's just like. From seeing that and then being in New York, I'm like, Beebs, what the fuck, bro? Like, you really talking? Like, I don't know what, like, but.
So Beebs, I do agree with you with Las Vegas. In terms of entertainment, Las Vegas is good too. Because every single hotel has got like 3 or 4 shows. In fact, one of my friends just came back from Coachella, and they both of them went to Las Vegas, and they did like a 1-day tour where they were shooting guns. And they were taken to the helicopter and went to the what do you call it, the canyon, and they watched Lady Gaga in a Park MGM, and yeah, it's I watched Boyz II Men myself, and I went to Michael Jackson's
and you know the beauty of it.
What?
It's honey dip central. You got honey dips from everywhere, all over the globe.
After 12 o'clock, man, there's different type of honey dips there too. Like, if you go to the casino floor after 12 o'clock at night, oh man, like
they come right up to you, man. Good prices and everything, man.
Hey, Beeps, I was a pro. Full disclosure, this is true story.
You're gonna just look over the shit Beeb is dropping, bro. Like,
Corey,
prices and everything.
Corey, true story. It's not R-rated or anything. I was at I was at the Win Hotel, right?
Wow, yo.
I was
Wow,
watching
dude.
La Rev. It's a Circus LA, right? I think I watched the 9 o'clock session. It finished
Yeah.
around 11, and because there was a lot of smoke in that Circus LA, my throat got like really dry, so I had to go to the bar, right, to get water. And there was this supermodel who came up to me, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, she came up to me, and we started chatting, and then out of nowhere she goes 5,000. And look, this was my first time in Las Vegas. I don't know the protocol. I don't know anyone here. Like, you know, and I said, well, what do you mean? And she goes, 5,000 for the whole night. And I looked at my wallet, man. I only had $50, man. I was thinking, damn, I'll buy you a drink though. And then as I was about to order, she left, man. So I was thinking, damn, if I only had $5,000, damn.
Beeb gets better deals than that.
This is what I'm gonna say.
They charge the Beeb 800, man. They charge the Beeb 800.
The other way around.
But look, this is my favorite place to visit or to go to or that I have ever been to.
Boston.
I would have to say, man, you know, I've been to Vegas. Vegas has, you know, Vegas is nice. You know, I haven't been to all to Vegas. I wish I would have went into the canyons and everything like that and really toured Vegas. You know what I mean? But I only went to like the Strip and, you know, casinos and stuff like that. I was only there for like 4 days. So, and this was last year. I went for the first time. So, with that being said, my best place that I've ever visited in my whole entire life will have to be the Bahamas. I had a really good time, man. I had a good time. It was clear waters. It was peaceful. I mean, it was awesome, dude. I think Corey Lee could possibly live in the Bahamas. You know, if I had like not in the tourist part though.
Aren't you Caribbean anyways? Corey?
Yeah, I have a little bit in that in me, yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying,
you look Caribbean, man.
Yeah, but I just feel like that getaway, man, it was just so awesome. That's why when Penny was like his favorite place is New York, I'm like, damn, bro, New York.
I don't want to entertain myself. I want people to entertain me. That's why I like Vegas, New York. Well, why would I travel halfway around the world for me to entertain myself? No. You entertain me. I've traveled halfway across the world to come here. You entertain me. That's why, you know, I like New York because, you know, I can watch basketball. I can watch baseball at Yankee Stadium. I can go to Broadway. I can go to all the museums in New York. Half of them are free.
Yeah.
Guys.
Off Broadway is good shows too.
This has been a great discussion. But Beeb's got to hit the gym. He's got to get ready.
We going,
he's got to get ready for the big fight.
The black
card. What time is the fight coming on, Beeb?
Pay-per-view starts at 2:00. Beeb's really not interested in the whole card.
Only the main event. I'm
only really concerned about the main event. I'm anticipating the main event will probably come on about.
What time does the main event start?
I'm guessing 5:00. 5:30. I'm gonna say 5:30. I'm gonna say 5:30, maybe 6.
5:30.
Because usually when the pay-per-view starts, they bullshit for like 45 minutes before they roll out the first fight, right?
So you're saying come back here at about 5:30.
About 5:30, yeah. Come back here.
Come back here at 5:30.
I'm gonna drop. I'll probably drop you. I'm gonna drop you a link. But when we do the commentary, try not to scream over me, man. Let me do the logistics.
This is your man. This is your everything right here. I'm gonna let you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you do your thing.
You two are good commentators, man. You complement each other. That's why you like
good together.
Yeah, you guys are like Harold Letterman. Not Harold Letterman. What's his name?
Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant.
Yeah, Larry Merchant. Yeah.
I'll be Larry Merchant. I'll be Larry Merchant. He could be Jim Lampley.
Yeah.
Jim Lampley, that fucking. He's a fucking crybaby. All right, y'all, man. I'll catch you later, man. Come back at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. We'll be back.
Follow me on Corey Lee Boxing, y'all, on all social media, y'all. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Peace out, everybody.